Hey y'all, come on in. Come on in. How's everyone doing today? Y'all, I had a great time with y'all yesterday. All right, let me just log into my other device. How's everyone doing today on this Wednesday? I hope everybody's doing great. Hold on, y'all. Let me log in over here. Okay, let me see. Hey, Auntie Cherry. Hey, Miss Davis. Hey, Miss D and Chad. Hey, Butterfly D. Hey, Robert. Let's see. Please hit the like as you come in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing great today, y'all. I am doing great today. Hold on, y'all. Let me plug up my light to my desk because I can't really see these comments here. So hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay. I had to get my little plug here. Because sometimes I don't need my light to my desk, but today I guess I need it because it's kind of blurry. So let me hook it up. Hold on. Okie dokie. All righty. So let me hook that up. Give me 1 second. I hope y'all enjoyed the live yesterday. I did not know it was going to be 8 chapters yesterday, y'all. But I have another story similar to the story yesterday. Y'all remember when the guy ended the live yesterday? He said he brought up that lady and said this is another story similar to it. But guess what, y'all? Ooh, child. It took me a while to find that story last night, y'all. It did. I stayed at my desk for like an hour and a half looking for that story because it took me a long time to find that story. Last night, I was tired, y'all. I was about falling asleep over here, okay? But I was like, God darn it, I want to share it. So I did find the story for you guys. So y'all know I'll be trying to come through. So I did find the story. Miss Davis, we had a good live yesterday. It was good and it was sad, okay? But oh my God, I did not know that live was gonna take us into I think I got off of here like something 5 because that was a whole chapter 8 yesterday. That was a very good live yesterday. Very, very good live yesterday. So I'm gonna do this one here. This is the one I'm doing today, y'all. This is the babysitter. Okay, the babysitter. Okay, that did these to these children, and then I'm gonna do. I probably can add in like 2 more today. So I'm gonna do that one, but I'm gonna do this one first. And thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate you guys. So I'll get started, and then if someone come in, they want to like watch go back to the beginning, they can go back to the beginning of it. So, and when I put it on the stage, y'all just let me know if y'all can hear it. Just put a 1 in the chat for me, because I will appreciate it. Okay.
Bestowed on her, especially considering the history she and Chris shared. And even more especially after 4 months of constant reliability in her care. Chris said herself that Fallon seemed so happy in Kirsty's care that some days when they would come to pick her up, she didn't even want to leave.
Hey, Fallon, come here. High five. Now this is the baby.
You're so funny. I love you.
Flood had 2 children herself, an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old daughter named Harper. Fallon and the 3-year-old were best friends, Everything seemed like the perfect setup. While Chris was at work on December 9th, she received a text around 1:30 p.m. from Kirsty, asking if Fallon could stay the night at her house. In 4 months of babysitting, Fallon had never stayed overnight at Kirsty's, but Chris had no reason to suspect anything was off with the request. After all, 2-year-old Fallon and 3-year-old Harper were best friends. If anything, it just looked like a sleepover in good company, with familiar, trustworthy people. People who had been there when Chris herself was struggling. What harm could it do? Chris called Kirsty when she got off work at around 4:30 p.m., but got no answer. When she texted Kirsty asking how
Uber Eats is delivering more deals so you can watch more
I can't
basketball.
stand these commercials.
Right now, get a buy one, get one pizza from Little Caesars.
Fallon was doing. Kirsty responded saying that Fallon was fine, but they were all at the park and her phone was about to die. While odd, it didn't send off any immediate red flags. Later, Chris tried to call and text Kirsty several times, but all those calls went straight to voicemail. Stepfather Cameron was starting to feel uneasy at this point and even suggested that perhaps they should just go pick Fallon up. But still, Chris thought there was no major cause for concern because Kirsty was someone she trusted and even looked up to.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fallon.
Yes, this is the story that I found. I did find the story. Like the one we did yesterday, and the guy said this was something similar to it. This is the story I found.
Blow it. Blow it.
Even though it took me an hour and a half, but I found it.
At around 6:30 p.m., Kirsty finally messages Chris to say that everyone is home and safe. Chris replies with no problem and asks if she can FaceTime Fallon. Kirsty tells Chris to give her an hour to charge her phone first. Then an hour later, Kirsty FaceTimes Chris from a very dim-lit room where Fallon appears to be propped up on the bed. Kirsty explains to Chris that Fallon has just woken up from a nap. Chris said the phone was roughly 5 feet from her daughter, and while she didn't notice anything visibly off in the dim room, Fallon was not responding to her mother. This was out of character according to Chris and Cameron. Then when Chris asked Fallon if she wanted to talk to Daddy and passed the phone to Cameron, the call suddenly ended. Cameron again suggested going to pick Fallon up, but again, Chris declined, a decision she regrets to this day. A couple of hours later, at around 9:20 p.m., Chris receives a crying phone call from a hysterical Kirsty Flood, telling her that she needs to come to Kirsty's apartment immediately. She claimed Fallon had hit her head on a slide and wasn't moving. Paramedics were already on the scene working on the little girl at this time. An officer got on the phone and asked if Chris and Cameron could meet them at the hospital. Next, Chris Fridley found herself facing a parent's worst fear. She was standing in a room at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta with Cameron and her mother. They were in there for what felt like hours. It was a small private room, the kind one might expect to see in an emergency department. This was the kind of room that no one wants to be in, the kind of room with walls that rarely echo good news. Chris demanded to know what was going on and begged to see her daughter, but her pleas were denied. Fallon was alive, and the doctors were running tests and doing everything they could to stabilize the 2-year-old, a 2-year-old whose mother was getting angry. Chris couldn't understand why she couldn't be beside the angel she created. But looking back, she now assumes that she too may have been initially suspected. And what the world now knows was a horrific case of child abuse. The doctor came into the room randomly with updates too vague to conclude anything inherently negative or positive from, but one thing stood out to Fallon's mother. A question he asked in repetition.
What happened to your daughter?
Chris was distraught, confused, maybe even offended at the audacity. Was she getting blamed for something? What exactly had happened to her daughter? She had no idea.
I was asking to see Fallon. They said not yet, we're working on her, and they wouldn't let me see her.
The only information she'd been given was that her daughter had fallen off a slide and hit her head. But the doctor explained that Fallon's injuries were not conducive to playground injuries. In fact, he'd never seen a child recover from damages as severe as those he'd seen on the 2-year-old's body. Simply put, Fallon would need nothing short of a miracle to survive.
Does your daughter have any health conditions?
The doctor asked a now hysterical Chris.
And y'all, I want y'all to know this was her friend. Okay, this was her friend. She asked, her friend called her and wanted the kids to go over there. So it was like, you know, a babysitter, I guess you would say. And she let the baby go there. So this is who did this to the baby. But she never knew this lady was a monster.
But apart from a mild heart murmur that had seemingly mended itself by the child's 2-year checkup, the answer was no, she didn't. Not that anyone was aware of, anyway. But it was clear that Fallon's injuries were nothing to do with a heart murmur. The doctor left the room again. In that moment, a calmness washed over Chris. It was as if a part of her brain shut off.
You may get a little excited when you shop at Burlington.
Jeez. All over the place.
Unfortunately for the family of Fallon Fridley, what Chris refers to as a sweet glaze of denial was nothing more than the calm before the storm. A few moments later, an older man entered the room and introduced himself as the chaplain. But Chris didn't want to see a chaplain. Her daughter was going to be fine. She was offended by his presence because it alluded to a tragedy that she believed was not going to occur. The doctor said himself a miracle could save Fallon, and in her mother's mind, that's exactly what was going to happen. That's what had to happen. When the family was moved to the PICU waiting room, they thought they were finally going to get to see their little girl.
The doctor came in and said we have her stable, but critical.
So Chris and Cameron were relieved, and seeing as the PICU room had a bed in it, they began to discuss what they needed from home in order to stay overnight. But the problem was, when they were told the words stable but critical, they only heard the word stable. A new female doctor greeted them in the PICU room to discuss Fallon's condition and have the family sign off on some medical procedures. One of these procedures involved inserting a catheter into the child's leg. On the form it read, 90% chance of recovery. But the doctor's expression indicated that sadly, this was not the case for Fallon. 90% was only relative to the success of the procedure itself, not the little girl's chance of survival. Fallon had immense internal bleeding, zero brain activity, and her heart was only working because of the medication she was being given. If it wasn't for medical intervention, the 2-year-old wouldn't be breathing. But as far as Chris was concerned, a miracle could still occur. Her daughter wasn't dead if her heart was still beating. No matter what they told her, there was still hope. If Fallon was alive, she could pull through. But as much as Kristen Fridley couldn't accept the information she was given, she was about to have to face the truth of the matter. As a cold blue was called to the doctor that stood before her, Chris's life would forever change with 5 simple words. Her heart stopped beating again. After the family was asked to follow the doctor out of the room and down the hall, they were led into another room where they finally got to see their baby girl. But it wasn't how any parent should ever have to see their child. It was a total nightmare. The family watched in horror as so many doctors tried to keep Fallon alive. Chest compression after chest compression after chest compression. I can't imagine the trauma that a parent would face witnessing something like that. The doctor informed the family that they would have to make the call soon. If they didn't, they'd only be doing more harm than good. Chris began to scream and beg for them to save her daughter's life. She said her legs gave out and she almost hit the floor, but someone caught her. She was hysterical, as anyone would be. When you have a 2-year-old, your life is in that child. You live your life knowing that every step you take leads to the protection and safety of that soul you created. You would never concede, you would never give up on
Rebecca.
them. It just isn't possible. But while Kristen screamed for God to take her instead of Fallon, her cries fell upon deaf ears. The CPR stopped. The nurses and doctors backed away from the little girl's bedside, and the room went silent. Chris rushed to her daughter, crying out and begging her to wake up, but she wouldn't. She was gone. A nearby nurse gently picked up Fallon and placed her into her mother's arms. Kristen Fridley held her daughter there as she stroked her hair and kissed her face until her own screams became mumbles. mutterings that still begged for her daughter Fallon to wake up. And as she sat there, she felt the baseball-sized knot on the back of Fallon's head.
At 118, they let me hold her, and I could just feel the back of her head, how swollen it was, and her body was purple. She didn't look like my Fallon, and I'd probably stay there with her for an hour just to look like her. This is what I see every night before I go to bed.
Rest in peace, darling.
This combo meal's got combinations.
The vision, you are so right. Like, how could you do somebody to a child and it's somebody you trusted? Like,
Fallon Lynn Fridley died on December 10th, 2020, in a hospital with the people who loved her the most right by her side. And while Fallon may very well be in a better place, the ones that stood near as she took her last breath wanted answers. What really happened to that innocent little girl? An autopsy of Fallon Fridley shows the child sustained a skull fracture as well as multiple internal injuries, including lacerations to her liver, her spleen, and even her colon. A medical examiner ruled the death as homicide by blunt force trauma. According to babysitter Kirsty Flood, Fallon fell and hit her head on the slide while at a park on December 9th. When they returned home to apartments on Monterey Parkway in Sandy Springs, Kirsty said she noticed the little girl was acting a little strange, so she put her to bed. Then later she claims Fallon wouldn't wake up. EMS responded to a 911 call regarding the child being unresponsive. After arriving at the apartment and administering CPR, Fallon Fridley was transported to the hospital where she would sadly pass away the following day. That same day, Kirsty is brought in to be interviewed by police regarding the matter. What you're about to see has never been seen by the public. You're going to witness the police interviews of both Kirsty Flood and her boyfriend, Jeffrey Myers. The details that unfold during the following series of interrogations are hard to hear, but listening to them helps paint a picture to better understand how things transpired the final day that Fallon Fridley was in the care of Kirsty Flood.
All right, Kirsty. This is my partner, Detective Pearson.
Hello, Mr. Pearson.
Hello. It gets so stuck being here.
Yeah, I'm already go out. I'm always hot 10 in the morning and stuff Thursday.
Yes, well, it's hard because, like,
you sound the lady from yesterday.
right now we're in the weather where you can get cold.
You can wear a sweatshirt and shorts at the same time.
Yeah, it's so jacked up right now. Sorry, my notes are all jacked up right now because it's been one of those days, unfortunately.
Get that.
Sorry.
Jersey's expensive, and it's
Now
a
she
problem.
sounded the lady from
I'm gonna
yesterday,
cut your
y'all.
taxes and solve this problem.
Maybe another case.
It is essential that students feel safe at school, safe from bullying, safe from being mocked for who they are.
They can just be themselves.
This is a similar case to yesterday, y'all.
After the officers introduced themselves to Kirsty, the leading detective preps his notes to begin questioning. Kirsty asks if he's met Fallon's mother.
See you met her
Hey,
mom.
Miss Kisses.
What's that?
Met her mom.
I did, yeah.
How's she doing?
Thank you so much,
You know,
baby,
she's
for
obviously
sharing with us.
upset.
Appreciate
I
you,
mean,
love.
I mean, I don't think there's
Thank
any
you, Queen.
way to not be right now, not be upset. But she's upset. I met
Cameron.
met him as too. I reserve judgment because that's what I do.
Yeah. Leave that until.
Well, ma'am, what I'm, so I'm coming in, when you see me walking in late, that means I have absolutely no idea, or I really don't know what's going on. So can you tell me what happened to catch me up? Because again, that's why I'm not asking any questions, because I don't know exactly what's happening. So I just wanted to hear your side.
Talk already?
No, actually.
They came in late, so.
I've been so busy at the hospital and doing other things that, I haven't even talked to him yet.
Okay, can I ask you one question?
Mm-hmm.
How come they did it so fast?
Did what so fast?
Just let her go.
What do you mean let her go?
Like, well, what is this fight?
Girl, don't start that crying.
She's still at the hospital.
She's okay.
I mean, she's not doing okay, but she's still at the hospital.
She's okay.
Like I said, well, she's not doing good.
But she didn't be okay.
I don't know.
She still have a heartbeat.
Heart still beating.
God,
Heart still beating.
God has a plan then.
It seems like the detective is caught off guard by the fact that Kirsty is unaware that Fallon has died. This may alter how he initially planned to conduct his questioning going forward.
If you have a heartbeat, you have the chance.
Yeah, her heart is still beating.
Y'all, the detective know that baby's deceased. They know that.
And Kirsty, I don't think.
Why did that dude? They gonna tell me she was gone, and
Who said that?
the officer.
No, she's not. She's not gone. Her heart's still beating.
Why would he tell me that?
Honestly, probably just miscommunication.
Apparently, officers don't have to tell the truth during questioning. And since they've already led Kirsty to believe Fallon is alive, they probably realize she's more likely to continue to talk to them truthfully if she thinks a murder charge is off the table. At this point, if she were to admit to assaulting a child, it's a much lesser charge if that child is still alive, rather than if her crimes resulted in that child's death. And if Kirsty asks for a lawyer, the interview is over. Hope is a powerful tool in many interrogations. As long as Kirsty Flood has hope, she's likely to talk.
Just confirming, Kirsty, your last name's Flood, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Sometimes I can't even read my own writing. I'm just writing stuff fast and just, yeah.
You're good. So y'all don't do the mask thing, or what?
We do. Would you feel better if I had a mask on?
No, I just prefer to speak.
Yeah.
And not be, you know what I mean?
The hope that we mentioned before, coupled with the leading detective's calm, casual, friendly demeanor, could be the cause of Kirsty fully removing her mask. Maybe she's starting to relax into the situation and believes she's not in as much trouble as she once may have thought. You'll notice her tone of voice becomes more stable, and her need to hide behind the mask disappears.
I typically watch Fallon 4 days a week, roughly. I've been with my company for 6 years, so I'm getting paid unemployment to stay home. I'm also in school for cybersecurity. I have a newborn, a 3, almost 4-year-old, and Fallon is 2. Like I said, I'm with her 3-4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Me and her mom, we've been through a lot together. I helped her get sober a long time ago. Quite some time ago, I was reached out to saying that she was homeless and, strung out and, no one, she wouldn't listen to anybody. And I was just like that one person that kind of just like spoke to her.
Unlock success with Optimum Business Essentials. Cyber attacks? You're protected with secure internet. Network interruptions? Nope. You have business connection back.
That she listened to, right? So it took her to detox. Fast forward, she went down to Miami, had Fallon in rehab with some scum. He's never raised her, never claimed her, never nothing. Mm-hmm. So I have a soft spot for Fallon.
Now, girl,
that's why I charge $125 a week on that, and that's nothing if the price isn't daycare.
It's not expensive at all.
No, and I do it because she's a friend, and I do it because I love Fallon. I don't know Karen very well, but
We'll come back to the topic of Fallon's stepfather, Cameron, later. But Kirsty seems to want to use the information she's divulging as a way to paint herself as a saint. And to be fair, it's also worth mentioning that most of the people that spoke about Kirsty did so painting her in the light of a loving mother who adored her own children. But it's worth noting that Kirsty had a history of battery dating back to 2010, where she was ordered to undergo counseling and avoid contact with the victims of her assault. She also had a history with drugs. She goes on in her interrogation to briefly mention Fallon's stepfather, Cameron, before continuing to discuss the details that transpired on December 9th.
I don't know him. I know a little bit. I'm trying to get to know him. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Long story short, he drops Fallon off this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And she stays. She goes in the room with Harper. She plays with Harper for a decent amount of the day. Her and Harper, my daughter, are like best friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they play, and then finally we end up going to the park. This is hours later.
Yep.
So for breakfast, she had the cereal bar, lunch, cheese puffs. They had some goldfish, graham cracker, chocolate ones. She was eating fine. She only eats junk food, right? And at my house, we incorporate vegetables.
Which says she had problems? I'm sorry.
And y'all, this taste y'all sounds just as
I'm trying to keep up with you.
yesterday.
Cereal bar for breakfast and
Cereal bar for breakfast, and then she had goldfish cookie, the chocolate ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had cheese puffs.
Okay.
And then she had some of her yogurt. I buy her Silk yogurt because she is non-dairy. So she primarily does almond milk and stuff like that. So I buy her specific things that she likes. She is very, very small. I don't know if you ever noticed, but she doesn't really eat much. But when she does, it's typically junk food. So, that's just what it is. But anyway, so she ate that. Okay, so we get in the car. Morgan Falls is what? A mile and a half from my house?
Yeah, barely.
Kirsty is referring to Morgan Falls River Park, which leads to Overlook Park, a popular destination for families with kids as it has a nice partially covered kids' play area overlooking the Morgan Falls Reservoir.
We were the last people there.
right before dark, though.
Yeah, right when it was getting starting to get dark.
Probably 5:30
ish. We started leaving. No, when it started getting dark, it was like I have on my phone. My phone died when I was out there.
If this ain't the damn lady, the same lady that we listened to yesterday, y'all. This is the same identical story, okay?
But I have 4:26. How's my girl? So we're ready to go to Morgan Falls. My phone's about to die. We just pulled up. She said, tell her mommy misses her. And then here's a picture of my daughter and Colin playing together, besties.
Yeah.
Right? So I also I'm on the floor. The reason why I'm right here is because I'm on the floor with my infant. I always bring like a little picnic thing, snacks, blanket, the whole nine. And you got 3, you try to monitor it all. So anyways, I put both the babies on the swing, my babies, on the bucket swings. And then she goes down the slide, falls off. And when you go down a slide and you drop, that's what happened. And I was telling him she dropped, but I don't know if that had anything to do with anything. You know what I mean?
Did she cry?
No. When she's such the most quiet baby, and that is alarming in situations like at home.
Gotcha.
Kirsty has just admitted that Fallon is a very quiet child. If detectives were wondering if maybe the child had behavior problems and an adult lost control while dealing with that through abusive discipline, well, Kirsty just ruled that out. The detective peering off into space and reaching for the back of his head may indicate a restructuring of questioning strategy. It's clear that letting Kirsty speak is the most optimal thing he can do right now.
And that is what has been an issue for me, but you can't go to a mother and say, hey, the man you just married, I understand his past, but, I would maybe look into that a little bit better, or maybe not leave him with him all day on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wholeheartedly, yeah.
That first of all, I would never marry a man with a record like that.
Yeah.
Second off, you're never going to be left with my child.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't even let them babysit my children.
No, I wouldn't either.
So
no way, Jose.
At this point, it's unclear exactly what past Kirsty's referring to when it comes to Cameron, or what this has to do with the damage Fallon suffered while in her care. After dropping Fallon off with Kirsty, Cameron was nowhere near the little girl. This is the second time she's mentioned Fallon's stepfather. Regardless of what his past may be, the fact remains that Cameron was not present during the time Fallon appears to have suffered the injuries Kirsty was.
So anyway, she's always at my home. I feed her, I bathe her, I do everything for her. I try to limit her mom's stressors to the maximum degree. Basically.
Well, I was curious too. I was seeing that was pretty good. Do you have like any other pictures of her today?
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I'm all about the pics.
Cool. Can I take a look? I just want to see because I'm just trying to play catch up. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, I am all here. Let me go make it easier.
And these are today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So these are.
Wait a minute, that can't be her. That's your baby, right?
That's my little stud, Dawson. I love him.
So which one? Okay.
That's Fallon.
She's a cutie.
They're trying to
And
make
that's
her
my baby
comfortable.
Harper.
Oh, what a sweet.
Yeah, so I have a 3-row seat. So I put their car seats in the back, and then I put my baby boy, face forward in the middle. Because I've been in 2 really bad car wrecks.
Oh, yeah.
So I try and I just got that sticker on there today. I mean,
Oh, this was today?
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was from today.
I don't know about this picture, but this is definitely today because that was the jacket she was wearing this morning. Sometimes she likes to sleep in my son's crib. So I put that little love, those little like BB things.
The boppy or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and then I keep her safe, just in case if like I'm in the living room or whatever, because she's still little, whatever. But
I'm trying to do this and go back to the one because I'm just curious.
Which one?
The last one that you had shown. I'm sorry.
Looks like they're getting along so well, huh?
Oh, with them two?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're best friends. Well, you can go. I mean, really, if you look at if you look at my life is centered around my children. Was then into playing. Like I said, I consider her my child. She's literally, a part of my family.
They know she's lying. They know it. But they're trying to make her feel comfortable.
Gotcha. She is right there. That's my son and my daughter. So like we really. We really have made it something so special. That's why, I'm really making sure that she's not. I don't know why he told me that she was gone.
It's possible that Kirsty may think she's coming off as a caring and responsible adult by showing pictures she took of her kids and Fallon that day. But in reality, the detectives are likely looking for visible signs of injury that may have been present during that time frame. If detectives were previously considering Chris and Cameron as suspects, this information might help rule them out. Next, the lead detective steps away, allowing the second detective to present his own questions.
You know what I mean? Then I want pictures and I need.
Sorry. Giving this.
Oh, no, that's okay. So, yeah, just hang tight. Well, I'm just trying to. Like I said, I was just trying to get caught up. So clearly the little girl she went to the hospital. Now that's what I don't understand. So I was literally asleep and my phone rings at roughly 11 o'clock and I came in. So that was where you believed, I guess, that she may have fell off the slide or whatnot.
Okay, so I mean, to me, the slide, the thing, whatever, that just sounds like But then on the bottom of the slide, there's the bottom of the slide, and then you could when you lift your head up, the only thing I could think of is there maybe, because I noticed a little bit of red right here. It's nothing serious. It's a little bit of red. Mm-hmm. But that was it. I'm there's nothing serious enough to where it would be oh my gosh, I I need to rush her to the hospital because internal bleeding. You know what I mean? Like my child fell off the top of the playground. But a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I played it like it was. You know what I mean? Went home, laid her down. She wanted to lay down for a minute. So I laid her down. She has her own bed, actually, at my house. I have a bed for my daughter and I have a bed for her. Laid her down next to her and then cooked dinner. I cooked mac and cheese and vegetables.
Was she playing at the house when I got back? Was she okay then?
She was playing for like a second and then when she wanted to go lay down. So in my daughter's room, she has a TV, she has all this stuff that they just love. So that's like the little spot. And then they have a playroom too. She went and lay down and then just for a minute. And then I was like, Fallon, are you hungry? You want dinner? And she ran. You can ask Jeff. I'm not yelling so you can sit and think. She ran to the kitchen. I'm thinking, oh, baby, she's hungry. She feels good. She's great. She made me lay down for a second, whatever, we're cool. And then doesn't eat. And I'm thinking, oh, that's weird. You know what I mean? You were just so hungry. I'm not giving you candy, you know? I'm not just going to keep giving you candy. And like, that's like, I think what her parents might do is just lean near around this candy and chips.
Like she's crazy.
Just to make it easy.
Don't she mind you the story that we did
And I'm
yesterday?
overweight.
Great parenting, but hey.
No, I get it too, but I'm overweight and I don't want to.
No, the babysitter
I don't want to
did,
do it
Brittany.
to my kids. So basically, I'm just trying to like have healthy options at my house.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, she didn't eat. Harper, I ended up giving all the food to my dog. I literally just threw it. Or she had like 2 bites. She had like 2 bites. I think she had like the veggies and then maybe 1 shell of a noodle.
Barely anything.
And then the rest I just gave to my pet because I ran out of dog food and
It happens.
I couldn't go to the store. I was trying to cook dinner, trying to do all this. Didn't want to leave her. So we stepped outside for 5 minutes, whatever, 10 minutes, smoke stay. I don't even know how long it was. Not long at all. Go back in there and check on her, and she's looking like this. And I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah.
Like, so my daughter has a unicorn. I built her like a unicorn. You saw it, the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And she was just like this.
Yeah. Eldon and you get them out of here. I'm going to go talk with them real quick. Yeah. So there's no, just so we can get this whole thing going.
Am I talking too much?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
In the middle of Kirsty describing the events leading up to Fallon being hospitalized, the lead detective excuses himself.
Well, I'm gonna read your comment 1 minute, Brittany. Let me get it off this commercial.
Medical bills across the U.S. are
This is another
extremely
story
high.
of the
An
same story
aspirin
we did
is
yesterday. I don't
$50,
think
but
you were in the
why?
chat. I don't think you was in the chat yesterday.
Himself again to
but
go
we
into
did,
the other.
We did an 8-chapter story of a stepmom unaliving a little girl yesterday. We did 8 chapters to that story yesterday. It was really good. I mean, everybody in the chat really engaged in it. It was really, really good. It was sad though. So this is another story that the guy that did the story yesterday that I shared. He was saying this was a story similar to that one. So it took me like an hour and a half last night to find this story, but I found it. So that's why I'm sharing this one today. And I have like 2 other ones I'm gonna share too today.
The other room and speak with Kirsty's partner, Jeffrey Myers.
She was, and then that's when y'all called when she had the distant look. I guess that when you called the ambulance.
She had the distant look. I put her in the tub because shell shock. You know what I mean? That cold water.
Yep.
Sometimes can just do the trick, just real fast. So she was in her diaper and even still in her socks. And because I don't want to shell shock her too bad.
Just put her in the tub with her socks and diaper.
Like literally like sat her down like this, shine the cold water, held her back, like the back of her neck like this.
Uh-huh.
And nothing. Didn't even respond to the water.
Put yourself in Kirsty Flood's situation for a moment. A 2-year-old that you're watching for someone else is displaying signs of cognitive decline so severe that they're refusing to eat and are unresponsive. What would you do? You'd likely call for help immediately. What kind of person runs a cold bath to submerge an unresponsive 2-year-old child in it in their diaper and socks?
Absolutely.
Shell shock is a term that started being used during World War I to describe a type of PTSD some soldiers experienced at war. This has nothing to do with resuscitating a toddler that's unresponsive by submerging them in cold water. What's even more frightening is that Kirsty made the statement that this can sometimes do the trick, as if what she said is common practice. Bizarre doesn't even begin to explain this.
So she just lost consciousness.
Yeah.
You're saying that after she had fallen in the at the park.
But her dad just told me he had the flu yesterday. Or on Monday.
Okay.
And she's been sick.
Okay.
And so I say that to say she's been sick.
Wow.
She got my 8-month-old son sick, my daughter sick, all of us sick. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And that was a couple weeks ago, but they said it was a sinus infection. And then on Monday, he calls me. I don't watch her on Mondays. Calls me around like, I don't know, 8 in the morning or whatever. He's like, hey, can you watch Fallon? I need to go to the hospital. I feel like I have, or I feel like I'm super sick. And then apparently he had the flu. And then he drops her back off at my house. And I'm just thinking like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't do that. We don't think the same.
Yeah.
He's also on methadone. So, you know, he no judgment at all. But I just know that your mental state, if you're on methadone every single day, is not going to be the same as it would be if you weren't.
Yeah.
Exactly, Brittany.
Methadone is a synthetic heroin. They need to take that off the street.
This lady is saying the same exact thing the lady said yesterday. She put the baby in the tub. Like, okay, why would you put an unresponsive baby in a tub? Like the other lady said yesterday. The other lady said the baby father was not there. Now she's saying her boyfriend was not there. This is the same exact story that this lady told yesterday. Okay? Yeah. Just different. I ain't even gonna say, but anyway.
Street. I don't know why the doctors still give that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If Kirsty's assertion that Cameron has been prescribed methadone by a doctor is correct, it's likely to help him deal with coming clean off an addiction to opioids. Methadone helps reduce withdrawal symptoms that can be dangerous and even life-threatening. If used correctly under a doctor's supervision and not abused, this is a good way to get your life back under control. Kirsty still seems set on painting Cameron as a bad guy, but she's doing a poor job of it. And again, whether or not he is, still doesn't explain what happened to Fallon.
Okay, so basically now I think I'm more clear at least. So when the kid when she had basically I guess fallen off the swing there at the park, she was, you know, talking and doing her thing back at the house as far as she would go. She wanted to go to sleep and that kind of thing. So she was.
The weird thing is that she wanted to go to sleep.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No,
yeah, I mean, she was communicating with you, right? I mean, she was just walking and things like that. Yeah.
Ha tenido un accidente.
This lady ain't like that lady
Comuníquese con las
yesterday.
oficinas legales de
Man,
Brandon
you
J.
did yesterday,
Project,
right?
con un equipo.
Remember the other lady
It's
yesterday?
perfectly normal for a 2-year-old little girl who initially woke up at 6 a.m. and has been playing all day to need a nap at some point. I don't need to look up any professional advice to attest to this because I have a 2-year-old who often naps in the afternoon, especially if the day has been an active one. For example, playing at the park.
I guess from what I'm understanding, the kid is pretty ill, you know, to this point, but that's what we're trying to find out. I mean, you're saying that if she may have taken a little tumble off the slide, but yet she was still walking, doing things, then went to sleep for a little bit, and then you came and saw her later. I'm trying to what you're telling me.
She always has
And she just had like a distant look about her. And then now at what point did it go from that to, oh, crap, put her in and she's unresponsive in the tub?
Have you ever say I could do that?
Do what?
This.
I mean, looking to the left or right.
No, literally like looking at you and then just go like this.
Chat yesterday.
And then just stop and not look back.
Okay. So you're saying she looked either left or right, one of the two sides, but just kind of looked up and that was it.
That freaked me out right there. I was like, okay, that's weird. To me, that just screams like, I don't know. I don't even know. But I know that that's something I'm unfamiliar with. And being a mother, if I'm not familiar with it, just like the CPR thing, that's why we call the ambulance, because I'm not certified and I'm not going to risk someone's life.
This girl said the same thing yesterday. I'm not familiar with CPR. I just called the ambulance. I didn't know what was going on. She went outside. She played. She came back with black eyes. Her hair was pulled down. Her clothes was all off her body. But you did not call the police. This lady is exactly the same lady telling this story from yesterday. And y'all know what I mean when I say the exact same story, okay? That the people that was in the chat yesterday. I mean, is they sisters, y'all? Is they twins? What's going on? They neighbors? Because these people have the exact same story. It's just a little different, but not much.
If trying to give CPR if I don't know how to do it correctly.
Again, as the father of a 2-year-old, I've watched countless how-to videos on administering CPR and stopping a child from choking. Should I ever need these skills, the internet has quick-ready tutorials that can save a life fast. Also, 911 dispatchers can assist you over the phone easily. There is no way the situation Kirsty is describing would prompt me to run a cold bath and put an unresponsive 2-year-old in it. Also bear in mind, the only thing Kirsty has really described up to this point is that Fallon was looking to one side.
And she would never look back. Her eyes stayed glued to the side, to what you're telling me.
No, I mean, eventually, after a couple minutes, it came back.
Oh, okay.
And then we put her in the tub, 2 seconds. Just a quick little.
Were you and your boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a quick little, he was helping me trying to do everything in the squat.
And y'all, if y'all pay attention to what she's saying, she's trying to throw the guy under the bus because she's trying to say that the guy was on heroin, and he shouldn't have been around a baby. She's really trying to throw him under the bus to get her out of it because she's trying to say it was him that did it to the baby. But I think she's trying to just take up for him. You remember the girl did that yesterday, right? Because a lot of people in the chat said they think they both had some play in it, which I think they do too. But I think she was also afraid to say that the baby father was involved in the one that we did yesterday also. And I agree with Vision. Like, what school do these people come from? Like, they put an unresponsive baby in the tub. They both did the same thing to these children. Only difference is that this baby is 2 and that baby was 5.
Put her in the tub for 2 seconds and then, bring her back.
I mean, as far as that, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying, because I'm a dad.
Rocking her.
Girl, just shut up and
literally rocking her, holding her, like doing all that, like just the comforting aspect, just trying to get like the whatever, I don't know, trying to do everything that I could motherly do.
No, you didn't do nothing.
And natural mother things that you could do. And nothing was working.
Okay.
And she went, what?
At that point, after you got out of the tub.
I'm like,
exactly.
What?
Sick individual. You is so right.
No, seriously, like, what is going on? Like, I could see if like poison or like something that you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, we don't know.
They need to run some tests on that girl. They really do.
We can understand.
All right.
And they need to run some tests on her. I don't know what to do from here on out though, as far as like I'm her nanny and I'm her all of this, and I don't know. I'm a friend of her mother's. I don't know if I should go to the hospital and give her a hug. Because if that was me,
Now, you know you unalive that lady baby. She don't want no hug from you. You want to know what happened to her child. You don't care about her getting a hug from you. You are a monster. That's what you are. You're supposed to be her
The situation
friend.
is way past hugs, and listening to Kirsty
Absolutely.
continually try to convince the officer that she's a great person who cares about Fallon is getting exhausting. When the lead detective returns, it's obvious that he's had enough and he's no longer playing Kirsty's game. He wants answers, and he asserts to Kirsty that he believes she has them. It's time for them to strip away that hope they gave her earlier in the interview.
Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of it, okay? She's in bad shape. Like real bad shape.
Like, what do you mean?
Like she might not make it to the night.
What?
Yep.
Sick of those crazy.
So I'm going to read you some stuff because I have some concerns, okay?
Pammy Poo, me too.
These are your Miranda rights. You're not under arrest, but you're here in the police station. I'm going to ask you some pretty hard questions, so I want you to know what your rights are. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used in court as evidence against you. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you ask any questions and to have him or her with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost, and he or she may be present at all times during your questioning. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So what we
Oh,
have
they got
here-
that lady tell the truth yesterday, Brittany. You
And
gotta go
why
back
I'm
and watch that
concerned.
live, baby. That live was all that. Okay.
Do you want to know all the issues that she
Railroad,
has?
huh?
Yes.
Okay. According to the doctors in the ER,
Yes.
she has a skull fracture.
A what?
Same
Skull
thing the baby
fracture.
had yesterday.
Her brain is swollen and bleeding. She also has internal bleeding
Same thing the baby had yesterday.
where she has, according to the doctor, let's see here. Her belly is full of blood.
Ooh, y'all.
She's got an injury.
Y'all. Isn't this the same identical thing from yesterday? Everybody that was in my chat yesterday, I know a lot of people not here today, but the ones that's in here, ain't this the exact same? Only one thing he didn't say about the legs. Now, he may say that, so we got to listen. But so far, this is the same thing that happened to that baby yesterday.
Injury to her liver, her spleen, and her colon, and is still actively bleeding inside.
Oh, Jesus.
She has
same
no
thing.
brain function.
Oh my God, stop.
She's got bruises all over her body.
Oh,
Stop.
She's got bruises all over her head.
oh, Lord.
The
Same
external part of her head is swollen. She has bruises literally all around her head. I can show you pictures. So that picture you showed me just a few minutes ago, she doesn't look like that right now. She is bad.
And this is precisely the hole that detectives let Kirsty dig for herself by allowing her to talk and show them pictures she took of Fallon at the park that day.
That's
There's
what she
very
messed
little
up
question as to whether or not Fallon's own family could have caused what happened to their daughter. And Kirsty's own rambling testimony has begun to box her into a time frame where only her and Jeffrey could have possibly been around Fallon when the injuries occurred.
You think it's the blood rushing to her head and all that stuff? You know, when you're laying in.
So when she was dropped off this morning,
Yeah.
how did she look? How did she act? Did you notice anything that was out of the ordinary?
Her dad just told me she had the flu. I mean, he had the flu.
That's it.
That's it.
You didn't see any bruises on her head, on her belly,
She's
and
trying to blame the dad,
And she
y'all.
had
That's what she's
scratches
trying to
right
do.
here.
from a
Baby
possible
father,
dog scratch,
you
right?
know,
She had a scratch right here, and then she had a bruise right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So
then
no,
I think she
no,
had-
no bruises up here.
No.
Okay, none of that was there.
I mean, she wears her hair like this.
Okay.
She literally wears her hair like this. I would if I saw a bruise on her head, I would call her mom immediately.
Okay.
I wouldn't just let a bruise just continue to be a bruise, because that's how you get internal bleeding.
Correct.
That's exactly how that happens.
Okay. And she's bleeding internally because she's got injuries to her spleen, colon, liver. And from what you told me, the only thing that happened to her today was the fall off the sled at Morgan Falls Park, where that ground is soft and squishy and bouncy.
Mhm.
So they made it that way so kids don't technically get hurt when they fall.
Right.
The injuries that this child has, according to the doctor, are acute, which means they have just recently happened.
There was absolutely no way that just happened.
Girl, just tell the truth.
So these injuries this child has are not consistent with what you're telling me happened. The injuries this child has are from some severe abuse or injury.
How long have you had her today? Just as a
Oh my, I can't even believe. How exactly? How would that even have happened?
You tell me, because we weren't there. Were you the only one with the child today?
I was around a bunch of people at the park.
No, when did you get
The child, were you caring for the child by yourself today?
I always.
When I don't feel good, getting just any old care doesn't feel good either. But talking to an expert Hackensack Meridian Health physician who knows what I need, that feels better.
Hold on, y'all.
It's my doc.
It's commercial.
Other people's doc as well, but also mine.
I told everybody I was gonna try to find this story to come back.
Most people are
today,
too
but
lazy to do this, but it saves
I don't know,
homeowners
maybe
a
some
fortune.
people at work.
I worked in
care for her by myself, always.
Okay.
Every day. There's never been an issue, ever.
What time today did you get her? Or yesterday now?
6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you had her all day long?
Yeah.
Okay. Something's happened that we're not being told has happened. Because those injuries just don't appear.
There is absolutely nothing that I would ever do to a child, first and foremost.
Stop lying.
Second off, if you ever look at my kids, they've never been touched.
I
They
know.
never will be.
Harm
I don't
your
believe in
kids.
violence.
You harm somebody, this is child.
So the fact that that's an acute
imagine
thing
following
that just
bullshit in your
happened,
And you didn't notice any of these injuries on the child beforehand.
I grabbed him the minute I saw him and called the ambulance. Does that add up to you?
No.
In your head, does that add up to you?
Lots of crazy things can happen.
If you're concerned about something and the first thing you do is grab somebody and call the ambulance.
Kirsty makes it sound like she was so concerned with Fallon's condition that the first thing she did was ask Jeff for help and then call an ambulance. But she'd already admitted to running a cold bath in which she submerged an unresponsive toddler before holding her and rocking her. This was all seemingly before she called for help. Either Kirsty wasn't that concerned with the child's well-being, or her concerns were more deeply invested elsewhere. Kirsty doesn't see what the detectives don't understand about her side of the story.
I don't understand where there would be a confusion about that.
Well, the confusion is the kid has injuries, severe injuries that she might not make it through the night that we're saying just appeared out of nowhere. How is that not confusing?
No, that is extremely confusing. And the only thing that I could even think of is if she tripped walking with Harper on cement. That's it.
Those injuries?
Or minute, right? They're minute. Those are little.
No, the injuries she has are not little.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So her tripping and falling would not cause those injuries. Her skull's broken. Her skull is fractured.
Same thing the detective told the lady yesterday.
I don't even understand.
Did Jeffrey do something?
Absolutely not.
Well, who did it?
So tell me how this happened.
Neither of us are violent people.
Oh, that girl said the same thing yesterday.
Basically, if you've got the kid, the reason I'm asking you from 6 in the morning, right?
Yeah,
Maybe at 6 roughly, almost 24 hours ago, because we're almost working on 2 in the morning. A child with a fractured skull is not going to just make it through the day and then just decide by the end of the afternoon that she's sick. Because you're saying during the whole day, she's doing fine, everything's great, nothing's going on. All of a sudden at dinner time, she starts acting weird. That's what doesn't make sense to us. Because the fractured
Her and
skull
Harper
is-
played in the room all day long. I had that in a text message.
Okay.
And that's
You went to
exactly
the
what
park,
I
right?
said. Yes, and I watched my son. I also have live footage in my home.
Okay. Do you have access to that?
I do.
Okay. What's it recorded on?
Wise.
Wise. Okay. I don't know that one.
It's WYZ. The fact that she has all of that is heartbreaking, but the fact
Yes,
that
it's exactly the same thing.
Any-
Yes, exactly.
This job requires a college degree.
I'm so glad I
Any
found
degree.
it. It took me a long time to find it, but baby, I did. Oh.
Premier Protein
Hold
is
on,
my
y'all.
secret weapon.
My ride or die. This stuff changed my life.
if that would ever happen under my watch in my life,
It sounds like
it would never happen.
So this Wise recording you have,
Yep.
is
It could be
through an
Brittany.
app or is it actually hard recorded like a DVR or something?
It's through an app.
Through an app.
Yes.
Yes, she is lying.
How do we get
Behind
access
the
to that?
comments, I just caught up. I had to refresh.
I have an SD card I could find for you probably. Like in it, I could pull it out. It's basically the whole. Let me see.
Y'all better look what she's showing
Which
y'all.
one?
Might
Going
delete
back, what day is it? The 9th, right?
Oh, they're
It
pulling
is
up
now
on
the
them.
10th. Right now as we speak, but yesterday was over here.
Kirsty searches her phone for the cloud-stored video feed from the camera system in her house. When detectives realize that she's pulling up video that could be used as evidence, they likely move over to monitor the situation to make sure nothing gets deleted. And nothing
just
seems
said
out of
that.
ordinary on the camera, but when Kirsty's phone dies, the detective leaves to get a charger for it.
I can get it. Let me get it, all right? We gotta keep that charged.
While the detective is out of the room, Kirsty appears to be nothing shy of defeated. It's clear the questioning is not going her way, and it seems like it's taking a toll on her. When the detective turns with the charger, Kirsty asserts that she needs to go soon because of her kids.
It would. Is that the right one for it?
Yeah. Thanks.
Trying to over yourself here. You need to charge though.
I gotta go soon for my kids.
While she's not under arrest, she has been read her rights and detained, which means she's not free to leave at this time. The detective will continue to let her think she's there on her own free will for now, in order to keep Kirsty talking and let that phone charge. It's clear he thinks he's onto something.
Yeah. So, has she ever come to your house? Like, did you ever suspect it other than?
Like I saw, just random bruises on her legs. See, the thing about Harper is that
The kids get those things.
is exactly as I said. Harper would have them everywhere. If someone were to look, they'd be like, "What? This kid is clumsy." You know what I mean?
I'm not worried about the ones on her legs or like on her elbows. It happens.
The head thing.
Well, that and also she got bruises all in her abdomen where she bleeds.
How does that even happen?
Someone has to
That
abuse
damn
that kid
girl
pretty
said the
hard.
same thing yesterday. How did this even happen?
That doesn't even make sense to me how that would even happen.
Y'all, if this ain't that girl from yesterday, I'm telling you.
In the situation, like,
Oh my God.
first of all,
This
she pretty much
is
lives in my
weird.
house. She doesn't sleep there, but she's there every single day. Never had any issues ever.
Fallon's mother claimed Kirsty watched the child for 3 days a week. At the start of the interview, Kirsty stated it was 3 to 4 days a week. Now she's upping the frequency to every day. I'm not sure what Kirsty hopes to accomplish by doing this. I'm not sure she knows either. But either way, it's probably not helping her case.
But my thing is, and I can look here and you probably done this a million times or whatever, but I didn't touch her. I would never hurt her. Literally. I've given her, ask her mom, I just bought her a kitchen. I literally give her all Harper's clothes, all her hand-me-downs. I feed her, I bathe her every day. Her mom never has to do any of those things. I do all of it.
Yep.
Because I love her. And so like, you telling me this is basically like you telling me that I'm almost kind of like losing potentially, even though I'm not going to claim that like a chump.
Kirsty has not been accused of any crimes so far, but since the start of the interview, she's been desperately hell-bent on convincing the detective that she's nonviolent and would never hurt Fallon. Her constantly defending herself in this way is red flag city.
It's difficult, and I know sometimes it's easy just to lose your cool and things happen. I get it. I just need to know.
But I would never lose my cool on that level. I would never lose my cool on that level. I don't even have that type of hatred in my heart.
I don't think it's a hatred thing. I think maybe things just get out of hand.
I mean, literally, the only thing I could.
Uber Eats is delivering more deals so you can watch more basketball. Right now, get buy one, get one 6-piece chicken McNuggets from McDonald's to get food to watch basketball. And then more food to watch more basketball. Order now, only on Uber Eats.
At Wayfair, we get pretty excited about furniture. Around here, it's not a patio, it's a patio.
Oh, I love those chairs.
Shedtastic.
Girl, you nailed it!
No, this set, it's just a couple of screws.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Think of, and this is like far-fetched, but I know Harper would have probably came and told me, unless they were, just playing and Harper just kind of played big sister and handled it herself or whatever. But, maybe Grace jumped on her. I don't know.
Grace is Kirsty's pit bull dog. She has so far attempted to potentially aim blame at Fallon's stepfather, a playground slide, possibly someone random at the park, and now finally, her dog.
And the only thing is that I could think of is that in the hallway, vinyl. It's vinyl. It's shit. The whole apartment is shit. I mean, you see how I'm under a whole court case with them because of how it's living and how dangerous it is. Because Fallon actually almost stepped on there was a flipboard underneath the sink. She almost stepped on the nail, an old rusty ass nail. You know what I mean? And it's like there's just stuff everywhere. But that's the only thing that I could think of would be where.
We can add Kirsty's allegedly dangerous apartment to the list of only things Kirsty can think of that may have harmed Fallon that day.
I mean, there was a little bit of a point where I closed my door. Sometimes I close my door because my kid she'll walk in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. You know what I mean? And yeah, I can admit to that. But like,
about closing your door.
Yeah, I could have made to closing my door today, yeah. For like at least an hour ish. You know what I mean? Because Holden was asleep.
Is this before you went to the park?
Yes.
She's just admitted to basically neglecting a 2- and 4-year-old for an hour in her dangerous apartment while she closed her bedroom door and slept. It's not a great look for the self-proclaimed super nanny. But when the other detective confirms that this was before the visit to the park, Kirsty likely realizes this excuse won't fly either. She then begins hiding part of her face with the mask. This may be a self-soothing technique to hide her rising nerves.
Well,
So I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know.
Tell the truth. That's
my
what
concern is
they want you to do.
you're the only one that was with them all day. And these injuries happen. And we're saying we have no idea how they happened.
Like, if I could, okay. If I could give you an answer right now that would just solve the problem, I would, but I don't have an answer for you. The only two things I could think of is falling on cement,
Which we didn't see happen.
Hey, Brittany.
Grace, my pet.
Which we didn't.
You know, I know a lot of people probably don't like stories like this, but if y'all don't, I will stop doing them. But sometimes I do share stories like this because this needs to be awareness of who you could trust to leave your kids around. You know, you can know somebody for 20 years, 30 years, and you decide to use them as a babysitter, and you just never know what someone may do to your child. Look how long she knew this lady. This lady was her friend, and she left this child with her. She left her child with this lady that she thought would never harm her child. You know what I'm saying? And this goes on a lot in life today. You can leave your child at a daycare, you know, and you know your child's supposed to be in good hands with anybody you leave your child with, right? And things like this happens. So that's why sometimes I do share stories like this. But I know a lot of people don't like these kind of stories. So if you don't like these kind of stories, I'll stop sharing the stories, you know, because I try to bring content that I know that y'all would like. But if this triggers some people, you know, me as being a content creator and y'all supports me, I would, you know, definitely stop sharing the stories and share other stories. So y'all just let me know. I'm just, you know, trying to bring awareness of different things that really go on out here in the real world. This lady was an evil lady, just like the one I did yesterday. This is just like the one yesterday. Just like the one yesterday. But the only thing about it, the lady yesterday, this was her stepchild that the father had custody of, and she was in a relationship with the guy, and she did this to the baby.
We didn't see happen.
Which we didn't see happen.
Did you hear her cry out at all today?
I mean, I'll hear, Fallon is the most quiet thing you'll ever ask her mom. That kid doesn't cry.
Yeah, you're right, Brittany, and I definitely understand that.
So,
yes,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? Yep. So that's not even my kid, you would hear from miles away if someone's brushing her hair.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a big difference.
Yeah, that's true, 2 cents. I understand.
All right. Give me a minute.
Okay.
And I feel the same way too, because I got grandkids.
Chat.
I know exactly how y'all feel. Trust me and believe me.
So anything, are you good on the drink right now?
Yep, that is so true.
But I need to get my kids, but yeah.
No, you're not going nowhere, lady.
1 second. We'll see where we're at.
All right, thanks.
It feels odd to me that detectives left Kirsty in the room alone with her phone that may have evidence on it. They may not have the right to take it from her yet, but I feel like the right thing to do would be to monitor her while she's detained and in possession of the device. But that's just my opinion. It's possible they were still under the assumption that the phone was charging. Either way, with the detectives out of the room, Kirsty is frantically texting someone. When the detectives return, Kirsty finds a spot in the video feed from the cameras in her house that shows Fallon at about 7:56 p.m. She seems to think this supports that what she's been telling the detectives is true, but in reality, it just further serves to vindicate Fallon's parents or a possible stranger at the park. It also brings Kirsty's playground slide theory into question.
Okay, has it charged up?
A little bit.
Can you see if you can pull up the camera again?
She's saying she wants me to come back and get the kids, so I have to go soon.
This is from Y. It's WY. to see the video. Now, does it download the video to the SD card, or does it just go up to the cloud, like the app?
Then,
The video for the camera.
sorry, I just saw something in here.
You see?
The pyramids.
How can I get a copy of the video?
That's holding. Right there.
Okay.
In the little jumper. That's Fallon. Looks like right there.
Where's Fallon at?
Someone just gave him a kiss. Let's go to the lows. There we go. Where'd she go? There, thank God. Can you see her being normal?
What was that?
Did you just see that?
Go back.
Ghost.
No, I think it's just those both.
No, it was ghost.
It was a fly or moth or
It
something.
was okay.
Set your dog right there, right?
Yeah, let's let this play. Because that's a good time for him. You know
And
what
what
I mean?
time is that roughly?
7:42. There's me.
And here she is.
Making plates.
And there goes Fallon. You don't know.
Yep, see, I told you. Oh, as well, I'm telling you.
She's so happy.
It's
'cause she
mind
thinks
blowing. Look at her.
She didn't do anything. She think by showing those videos it'll make
Time
it
you
help
showing
her
there?
case.
This is 1956-25. What is
Okay,
that?
so almost 8 o'clock.
Military time.
Whatever happened to Fallon clearly occurred after 7:56 p.m. on the night of December 9th.
See? Try it again. She wouldn't do it. Took her back again. See, it's resilient. Like, I tried and tried and tried. That should show you right there how much I care about this kid. I'm like, I don't want you to go to bed hungry. Because she just, I don't know how her mom does it at their house. If they don't feed, I don't get it. I don't get if they just give them candy and chips. But, so I tried again. And then that's when I went to the back, I guess. I think that's when my dogs decided it was free game. Bodies right there. That's when me and him both went to the back to check on her. Because I was like, she's looking kind of weird. She's not eating. She's, you know what I mean? And then he suggested I suggested the bathroom real fast. And then I got her in a Milwaukee towel and I literally just rocked her and rocked her and rocked her and rocked her. And then I started freaking out. My mother instinct started kicking in. I was like, something's not right. Something's all right. You know what I mean? And then that's when we called the ambulance.
Kirsty goes on to explain that she tried to get Fallon to eat several times and she wouldn't. She also tells detectives that Fallon's mother had been on FaceTime to Fallon until Kirsty's phone died. Right after that, Chris called Jeffrey's phone. This was all after 8:10 p.m. The 911 call was placed at 8:59 p.m. It's sad to think that Kristen Friedley may have just spoken to her daughter right before things got really bad.
You don't think that she was like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think about like different scenarios maybe that she was laying there for a little bit and like Gray stepped on her.
I don't think a dog stepping on him would fracture her skull.
Don't either.
She's trying to think of anything to get over.
I could see like the pressure. You know what I mean?
But-
The scratches and
But there's not really any scratches on her after.
exactly what I'm saying. So they're supposed to cancel it out thing too.
And there's, I think for a dog to fracture her skull, I think that's
No, when you say cute, you know, what does that mean?
They happened recently,
What is recently?
like today.
So it could have been this morning.
Like how early this morning do you think?
Before she came to my house.
It's almost painful to watch Kirsty grasp at any straw she can find to explain what happened to Fallon. Either her or Jeff are the most likely people to hold the answers to the questions everyone's asking.
I was saying, what, can I see your wise thing one more time?
Yeah.
There's,
I really gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm running over 6 and over and over again.
No, I understand. Well, can I see this right before you get going? Because this was, that's what we're trying to,
Yeah.
because this is going to help. So is this right here beforehand?
The other detective appears back in the room again, and this time he's accompanied by a third female officer who just so happens to have the same camera system Kirsty does. While they may not have seen exactly what they were looking for on the camera's recorded feed before, this time they're searching for something that can paint a better picture of what happened to Fallon, something that can't be seen on camera.
Is there a way to get a link for the video?
I haven't tried that. You can just share right here. You can share the camera and add new users, which I don't think is quite the same thing. It's app based. I don't have access to the website, so you kind of.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's a great camera. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I've had
Can
it
you
for a few years.
can you see if you can get the sound to it now?
Yeah.
What's the, just,
Well, she said it knows what I know for the sound on the bottom.
Yes,
But it's our
maybe there's
bumpers.
sound.
Sometimes they're slow because
It's
they're
there. That's it.
Wi-Fi based.
Yeah, it's $30.
But say we want to get a copy of the video from today.
Well, let me get back to you on that. Give me a second to kind of.
Do you know what
like
your
real.
hours of calendar is? Like you usually or whatever?
I would have to get that for you. Here, I just showed you the full video.
Yeah, but
I don't want you accessing that way you could like literally watch me at any time.
Well, all I want is from the
Well, you
time
ain't gonna watch it
from
no
6
more. You're gonna
a.m.
be in jail.
until,
I just showed you the whole thing.
well, we saw part of it, but when we're scrolling through, it's choppy because we're not actually being able to watch the whole thing. You hear what I'm saying?
We just did this.
We did, and when we stopped scrolling for dinner time, it went by itself, and it showed us. We actually saw the video playing.
Detectives want a copy of the stored video recording, and they also want to enable the sound just in case they're missing something. Obviously, if they could hear what occurred, it might give them some insight. But Kirsty doesn't like this, and seems to feign willful ignorance as to why the information would be needed. A totally innocent person would likely easily cooperate with law enforcement in this scenario because they'd have nothing to hide. Kirsty
Right.
eventually agrees to
Absolutely.
email the full video to detectives once she gets home.
Just
I
hear
need
the
to
voice.
say
Let
like
them hear
anything
everything.
against Cameron, but
With the
like
volume of it.
You're a father, right? If you're wiping some random kids, Tata, and they go, Dada. Would you think that's weird?
Huh?
Okay. She does it all the time. Just want like, I've even like literally gone like this, like you like when your pelvic bone right there, just to kind of like see if like she's like, oh, you know, from pressure.
So today, did she wear a diaper or is she potty trained?
She wears uppers.
Okay.
Who's that?
Oh, he marks up
Girl,
medicine.
340B medicine markups?
Bingo.
You said, I don't want them in my camera. They can see everything.
I buy all of her diapers.
So when you changed her today,
Mhm.
did you notice any kind of bruising down there at all?
No.
Kirsty keeps on talking to detectives about how good she is to Fallon and how much she does for her before going back to the topic of Fallon's stepfather, Cameron. This is a recurring theme in both Kirsty Flood and her partner Jeffrey Meyer's interrogations. Kirsty alleges that Cameron did time for child abuse, specifically rape or molestation, and she claims Chris's family made public Facebook posts specifically about this. In a later interview with police, Kirsty alleges that Chris denied the allegations, said they were misunderstandings, and had her family remove the posts. Now, this wouldn't be the disturbing truth if I didn't consider the information and do some digging. I did find old charges unrelated to anything Kirsty asserts. I also found a recent charge against Cameron Gant from March 29th of 2023 for violation of a family violence order. Apparently, there was a temporary protection order, or TPO, issued against Cameron Gant for Kristen's sake. He allegedly broke this in a non-violent way by canceling her phone. I'm not exactly sure why the TPO was issued in the first place, but I do know Chris and Cameron are no longer together. While Kirsty's claims are concerning, she has so far been caught in several lies and changed her story multiple times in her interviews. Her boyfriend Jeff does the same thing throughout his interrogation with detectives. Also, the fact remains that Cameron was nowhere near Fallon during the time when the damage occurred. I can't demonize Cameron Gant on charges, most of which happened 10 to 15 years ago, that do not in any way correlate with Kirsty's claims or the injuries that Fallon sustained while in her care. Kirsty's lies and her attempts to redirect suspicion aimed at her, at Cameron, still aren't working. Whether or not Cameron Gant is a good person is not something I can conclude, but I can conclude that he didn't kill Fallon.
Who said he has a child abuse past?
She did.
Okay.
She knows. The whole
What about a child abuse past?
Emotions. I'm not sure if it was an aggravated or not, but I know he did some time. You wonder when you do things like that, you don't normally.
That's so sad. She's trying.
It's kind of like one of those things. It's either in you or it's not.
The mother's boyfriend.
After talking about Kirsty's allegations towards Fallon's stepfather, she asks when they will know an update on Fallon's condition. It's at this point in the interview that things really heat up.
When do we know? Like when?
I don't know how long it's going to take for her to come out, or if she doesn't come. I don't know. They're doing everything they can to help her.
They can say babies out of the NICU.
They sure can.
They're premature with nothing.
They can. She has suffered a lot of damage from them. She has suffered a lot of damage. And these are doctors in CHOA who specialize in kids. And they're telling me she has fractured skull, brain bleed, swollen brain, injured liver.
Sorry.
Thank you, Israel.
Was I asked which one was your apartment key so that we can look it up for you?
Oh, we're ready to go home, right?
I don't know right now. And here's why we're still here. Is because she has all these injuries. And the person she was with today is you. Yeah, I need to know, and I need to find out how she got all these injuries. And I get we're watching the video. This is what makes everything confusing. Because these injuries just didn't happen out of nowhere. These injuries happened somehow. You're the only person that was with her all day.
That's not even fair. You cannot pin that on me.
I'm not pinning anything on anyone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what happened.
The truth.
Wow.
Tell the truth.
I have children, I have dogs, I have a whole life.
I understand.
No, I don't think you do.
I do.
Well, you should have thought
She's
about
about
that.
to take my car and my keys.
No, she's not taking your car.
Where is she going with my stuff?
She came to get the key to lock up the house.
Why?
Because we served a search warrant at your house.
Wow.
For what?
Because it's a high possibility this child was injured at your home.
And you didn't find anything, did you?
I don't know. I'm not there.
Wow.
But you have to look at it. What if you were in my shoes?
I can't
what would
believe you
think?
right now. You really just flipped the table.
If
That's
you
what
were,
y'all do, don't you?
if you were in my shoes, what would you think?
I'm not under arrest.
Right now, you're detained.
I'm not under arrest.
Right now, you're detained.
Well, I'm about to call a lawyer then if you're going to play this game.
Okay, you're calling a lawyer?
You're not going to keep me here. I have children I have to go take care of. You understand
Right now,
that?
you are detained.
I have children.
I understand that.
Well, you should have
Where's
thought about
Chef?
your children before you did what you
I know that we
did,
need you up to
Liz.
speed, but can we get this
You
thing
didn't
to
think
slow
about your
down once
children
it
then?
gets there?
You didn't love your
You're not
children
going to stop
then?
anything with the
You
brakes
didn't
that
love
you got.
yourself.
Bad, eh?
He's over there. He's in the other room.
So what are you saying?
I'm trying to figure out who hurt this child.
Neither of us hurt this child. Maybe you
How
should
did
go.
this Child get injured then?
I don't know how she
was
got
with you
injured. You
all
just
day.
saw videos of her running around and fine. What else
And
do
I
you
get that that video doesn't
need?
show the whole other part of the house.
Why else? Okay, if she's so injured, why would she be running around like that? Have you ever thought about that? An acute injury? Don't you
So-
think she would be laying down?
So you tell me,
If she was hurt, wouldn't she be laying down?
what could have happened when you took her off screen?
So you think I took her off screen, went and
I
beat
don't
her,
know. I need to know. what
broke her
happened, though.
skull,
She's got a fractured skull,
bled her inside,
and she might not make it through the night.
and then brought her back out to feed her? And everybody else was just running around fine? Does that make sense to you?
Crazy things have happened. I know what is going on in this child's body right now. And it doesn't just happen out of it. So you're saying that she got to your house, she was fine this morning.
It
All
was
day long,
6
she's fine.
o'clock in the morning. And this is exactly what happened. We don't sleep because we have a newborn.
I understand.
He leaves at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. He's gone. I lay her down with Harper half the time. They go to bed. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I try and catch some more sleep while I can with Holden. So I was sleeping in with Holden. She was in the room with Harper. They played.
Did Harper tell you anything about the dog doing anything?
I can ask Harper.
But she has made statements like, oh, dog did this all throughout the day.
Harper was in there for so long with her.
Mhm.
That's what you don't understand. They were playing all day in there. I even have a text message that said they were playing all day. Now we're about to go to the park.
Yeah.
I said, in her room, they were playing all day. Did I not? Why would I say that? What? Come on, man. Don't do this to me. Don't ruin my life.
I'm not ruining your life.
No, you're on the cusp.
You ruined your
I
own
am-
life.
I'm trying to figure out
am
what
a
happened with this baby.
mother.
I understand that.
No,
I'm trying to figure out what happened with this baby.
I did not do anything to that little girl. And you are not about to ruin my life over that.
I'm not ruining anyone's life.
I'm in the midst of getting my entire record cleared from 2000, back in the day, 2010.
Okay.
I have busted my ass in life to get to where I'm at right now.
Okay.
And I have helped her mother, and I've been there for her, and I've done all of this, and you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me, do you think I hurt this little girl?
I don't know what happened with this little girl. I just know she was with you, and now she's injured to the point where she might not make it.
We were
As
also
a
in the
physical,
playground.
I might as well go ahead and tell
They were also in the ring.
on.
Do you understand that things happen in little girls that don't cry and don't talk, don't say anything? Do you
The
understand
massive
the
amount of
bruising?
trauma, the massive amount of trauma that this child has sustained internal.
Would mean what?
That she was hurt really bad.
How?
You tell me. I wasn't there.
How would do you see bruises?
On the baby?
Yes.
Yes.
I only saw that and that. Where did you see them? Where are the pictures? All over her head.
You want to see the picture of the baby?
All over her head. No, I don't. This is going to make me sad.
Are you sure? Because I can show you. Those weren't in your photo.
That's blood.
That is not blood. That's a fresh bruise.
Those blood clots. Those are blood clots, and you're not a doctor. Just to let you know.
Oh, she's something.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly
Brittany. Yes, Brittany.
what she had. Exactly what she had in that picture. And the only thing that she had in that picture.
But what she didn't have in that picture is right there in the middle of her forehead.
Blood.
That's not blood. That's a bruise.
What do you think?
That's a bruise.
Okay,
Look at her nose. So let's look at that. Look at her nose. Look at her forehead. All right?
The same thing they did yesterday. They did the same thing yesterday.
Born in the South Ward, Mayor Roz Baraka will be the governor for all of us because
Come on, some of
he
the cops
is one
running
of
her life.
us.
No,
Roz
you want
learned the
your
importance
own
of
life, honey. Your own life.
That is your picture.
Right.
Yes,
Right?
Planet Pooh, she is
From today.
crazy. Man,
That's
you
from
think she
today.
crazy like
Right.
she was yesterday?
Right.
I don't see those bruises.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my
Brittany.
point.
Just give it up.
The
and be
blood.
honest.
So there's
Yes.
no bruises.
So you're telling me there's no bruise right there?
That one that we saw, yeah. But look in the middle of her forehead. Look at her nose. There's nothing there.
You can't see that there's a hair right there.
There's nothing there.
She's trying to
There's
play
nothing there.
intelligent, but she can't do that.
I'm not making this up.
She fell off a slide at the playground after that too.
And you said
You're
she
trying to
landed on
pull
her
this
back.
out of you're trying to pull this out of
But how did she land?
on her back.
So how would that put bruises in her forehead?
You know what else she was doing? Let me go ahead and show you what else she was doing. Since you think this is like some, I don't know what you're trying to do to me, but this is like literally.
I'm trying to get to the
Yes,
bottom of what
Planet
happened
Pooh,
with this
just
child.
like
Well,
that lady. Like, oh my God, just like her.
Those things,
Wow.
those right there, they bounce.
Mhm.
There's a metal bar right there too. You ever thought about that?
Okay, did you see that happen?
Did you see that? I was
Do you
just
know
saying.
that accidents
Did you see
happen
that
all
happen?
the
No, did you
time?
see that
So I have
happen?
4 kids.
Exactly my point. They cut me some
And then I
slack.
know that this injury that doesn't happen just appear out of nowhere.
Exactly why my 2 kids are 100% healthy. Have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay, then think about it a little bit harder.
But maybe you need to think about you're the only person with her and she's injured like this.
I did not hurt that little girl.
What's that? You want to talk to her?
Yeah, I was just getting a couple things down.
I need to go get my children.
Did the
Just
same
a
thing
second, we're
yesterday.
actually
Walk
getting one
out
other
on
thing.
her.
We'll
The
run
other
something
one walk
through.
right on out.
And we'll let you know in just a second. And get you
Let us
on
know.
the way.
Let us know.
That's what I'm
what.
trying to do, but I hear you yelling, so I'm coming back here.
Because he's being ridiculous.
As Kirsty's temper rises, the detectives swap for questioning. This is likely so that the detective who was confrontational with Kirsty can leave the room and allow the other detective to de-escalate the conversation before Kirsty asks for a lawyer officially. The detective does this successfully by assuring Kirsty that they want to get things wrapped up shortly before leaving the room. The second detective wants Kirsty to give him her theory on what happened to Fallon.
What's your theory? That's what I'm asking you. How did this child sustain these injuries?
The only thing I could think of, like I told him, is falling.
At the playground.
No, not at the playground. Other than literally walking on the cement, holding Harper's hand while I'm carrying a car seat, walking up to my car and like tripping because this baby doesn't cry. Like I told him 1,000 times.
Mhm.
She doesn't cry. She just gets back up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Harper, pulling her, because Harper is 4, doesn't realize it, pulling her, she could fall.
Where's this at?
Boom!
Is this...
Morgan Falls.
Okay, fair enough.
The sidewalk walking and I parked way over the side.
So this is going on the sidewalk.
Yes.
I got you. So she's fallen down onto the concrete there, and your 4-year-old doesn't know any better. She's just kind of
picking her back up and keeping it moving. That's what she does.
Keeps falling down. Does this happen over and over, I guess?
Fallon falls all the time.
Okay. I mean, that's why I'm asking you. I wasn't there.
Her mom, ask her mom. That kid falls.
But that's what I'm asking you. So during that time, she kept falling down, kept falling down,
it wasn't like she just repeatedly kept falling down.
Okay.
But you making it seem like that.
Anything significant? Did she fall off a curb and hit her head? I mean, or anything like that you noticed?
Well, you fall on cement, then that could be.
Well, even kids have the innate ability to like kind of throw their arms and use it as. What I'm saying is that's why I'm asking. I wasn't there. So
if you slip on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Are you drowning in payday loan debt? Have you taken out multiple payday loans and are unable to pay them back? Then listen.
There's concrete underneath it, right?
Understand.
Okay. So there's
it's
also
usually carports. I guess that's what I'm asking. Saying the parking lot doesn't even have a vinyl cover. So
I'm talking about inside my apartment.
Oh, very good. Okay. So
I'm talking about all the possibilities because you're asking me for all of them.
Well, I mean, but I'm being specific. You're saying that she had fallen down in the parking lot and your kid, and that's okay. But that's what I'm asking. It's like, did she do so?
Parking lot?
Yeah, at Morgan Falls. That's what I understood you to tell me.
And the side, okay, anywhere we go, Harper wants to hold her hand. Mm-hmm. Yesterday we went to the playground. She wants to hold her hand.
Right.
They always hold hands. So she, will walk with her and hold her hand or whatever. And a lot of the times Fallon will fall.
Okay, that's fine.
A lot of the times. Knees. My daughter busted.
And what I'm asking you is like, again, because of the seriousness of her injuries today, when you were watching the kid, was there anything was like, ooh, I mean, like I'm probably a substandard dad, but like I'm scared enough of damn kids that I would watch them. I wouldn't have like alone time or anything. Meaning I would never shut my door because I'm afraid of what they do to harm themselves. So if they play around and my 2 sons, and they do, and one goes running and clips a corner, I know I'm like, oh God, and sure enough, they get bruised up and I get all that. But I'm saying,
okay,
anything stand out to you?
To maybe not being the best.
I'm not saying
because of my son and me closing the door because of napping, but if she fell, then how am I supposed to know that?
How are you supposed to know if she falls?
Like, this is the thing. The baby doesn't cry. She doesn't cry. Mm-hmm. She's one of those kids that's just real quiet, which is another alarming sign.
Keep saying it.
Very alarming sign from the home life. Okay. Very, very quiet, doesn't cry, doesn't say much, just always smiling, always happy, the sweetest little thing ever.
Yeah.
So let's say she did fall, she wouldn't say anything. That's what I'm saying. Half the time she doesn't say anything. It's almost like she gets in trouble at home for maybe saying if she did. I don't know. But she doesn't say anything. My daughter is so dramatic. The whole world will hear about it.
Right.
This kid will fall and get up and keep it moving. This kid will get knocked over by my 60-pound pit and get up and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Harper gets knocked over by my pit and is a whole ordeal. You know what I mean?
They're looking into as far as they try to figure out exactly what the injuries and where they were caused, obviously. I mean, you do understand that, right? We didn't just kind of wake up today looking to pick on you. We're trying to figure out how a 2-year-old who really can't speak for herself got injuries. By default, because that's what you do. You care for her throughout the day. That's why we're asking you this. It's not to anger you or to push you in a corner. Or
they told me I'm not when you tell me that I might not get my keys back and I might not be able to get my kid, you're basically telling me.
Well, right now we're looking. Yeah, we're having to investigate this case. We can't just. There's things we have to do before.
I have neighbors watching my children. You guys just did a search warrant on my house.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
You did, and you didn't find anything to do anything.
Well, you got to wait it out for a second. What I'm telling you is we have to explore all avenues.
Jealousy there.
What are you waiting on?
What you did.
I'm gonna check here in just a second, and then I'll see if what the plans are moving forward. But this should be wrapping up
bring
your
up the
relatives.
other parent.
I'm so confused. What do you mean you're
Like
gonna
you
check?
did something to this lady, baby.
Check with the lead
Why you trying
investigator,
to throw
'cause
her
I'm
under
not
the
the lead
bus?
investigator, so I can't tell you exactly what's going on with this because but I guess the best way I can describe it to you.
Do you know like how long?
I mean, again, I
You're
was
not
going
going
to
nowhere.
check with
It's
the
your
lead
us.
investigator. That's
Once Kirsty is alone, she calls her mother on the phone.
So every senior between the ages of 50 and 85 need to know about this. There is a new 40,000.
I can't believe this.
I hope you know they recording them.
No, I'm not okay. They're trying to fuck me up. Yes. He's in their room. They're trying to fuck my life up. They're trying to fuck my life up. I'm like, so can I go? Can I get my keys? Can I go get my kids? Can I go do this? He's like, we'll let you know in a minute. We'll let you know in a minute. I'm like, are you taking me to jail? Like, are you about to ruin my fucking life? They don't know. She's in critical condition. The other cop told me she was dead.
While making another phone call, the detectives return to issue Kirsty a search warrant for her phone. She's also about to find out something that changes everything.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Kirsten.
Wow. That's because she did not let them look in that phone. That's why they did a warrant on that phone.
Are you actually on the phone with someone?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
What was this?
This is a search warrant.
For what?
We're going to seize your phone.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
What?
Yep.
It's a valid search warrant, so
Valid
I'm the
search.
judge. So we need to take your phone.
So how
Here's
does
the deal. I just called the doctor, and Fallon is dead. No lie. She's at the morgue right now.
Wow.
She's gone.
Wow.
Her injuries were that bad that they couldn't save her.
Did you just hear that? So they're seizing my phone. So I guess how long are you gonna have my phone for?
Forever. You're going to jail.
Probably as long as it takes for us to process it, which could be 24 hours.
Okay, so when I come back here and get it?
Yeah.
We'll contact you to release it back to you.
Because I have Jeffrey's number. I can call him and y'all can come back and get it then.
I know. All right. Well, let me go ahead and read over this paperwork before I give them my phone.
Let me have your copy to keep.
Okay. All right. Love you. Bye.
Baby, they were working behind her back, baby. They were working to get that
Well, here,
warrant.
let me, before you go.
I have a psychologist appointment tomorrow.
We're going to give you these things back, but we're not going to allow anything to be manipulated right now.
It's not going to be
okay?
manipulated.
We're
It's
going
in
to
your
give
custody
back to you
now.
right now, okay?
Kirsty's in her custody right now.
I have a psychologist appointment tomorrow. Do you not understand that?
We
I
do
don't worry,
understand
yeah,
that.
No,
somebody
you
calls
don't.
you to this.
No, you don't.
Right
Okay?
now, our main
But I
priority is
am nervous,
investigating.
You just took it out of my phone.
Going to jail, girl. You don't
Yeah,
keep the
yeah,
phone.
search
Just
warrant
give
now.
them the phone.
We
So-
Tell your mama get your
Oh, that's so
kids.
lovely.
Because you
So,
and your
okay,
boyfriend
we'll be right
going
back
to
with you,
jail.
okay?
It's over.
So,
It's over.
is there a bathroom or anything?
What do you mean? I'm leaving.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm ready to go. You just took everything from me.
Yeah, come in here and sit and we'll talk.
You
Come
just took everything from me. You're trying to ruin my entire life.
No, actually.
You're ruining your own life.
Come on, come here.
No, literally, they're trying to ruin
She's
my
going
life.
to jail, baby. Ain't she crazy, y'all?
Hey, listen. Look.
She gonna take the life of a little precious
No,
baby, and then you're gonna try to act like you didn't do nothing, and then you want to go home.
This is why they talk about y'all the way they talk about y'all.
Okay, and I understand.
Because y'all don't treat us with respect.
Okay,
You don't even
come and
have proof or facts or anything, and you're treating me like that. How dare you?
Come in and have a seat.
So disrespectful.
Listen.
Seriously, so disrespectful.
All right, I'll get something for you. Now listen. Okay, okay, let me grab something to clean that up.
Kirsty has just been informed that the child she was looking after, who suffered horrific injuries while in her care, has passed away. This is a child she claims to love as one of her own. Yet when she receives the news, her main concern is that her phone is being seized. She shows no immediate humanity for the fact that Fallon has died. Kirsty says she wants to write a few things down from her phone, but detectives are concerned that she may attempt to destroy evidence. And now that the warrant has been signed by a judge and served, they can confiscate her device at any time without her consent. After Kirsty's phone was taken, she sent the following message to Chris.
I don't have a phone. They took it, but I love you and Fallon so much.
It's that time of the year. Burlington's spring deals are in the air. Styles are sprouting. Brands
much and really hope you know I would never hurt her. She's been with me for forever and has always been so happy, and we both know that. She's the sweetest little angel and never even cried. I love you, and I'm praying you find it in your heart to forgive me. And I know I can't say as much as I need to, but I would never hurt her. She was like a second daughter to me. When you're ready, please message me. In the meantime, I'm deactivating my Facebook. I love you.
Kirsty's first interview concluded shortly after this, and she was
the baby's
released
mother,
pending
y'all.
further investigation into the death of Fallon Fridley.
You have some mental issues.
While Kirsty was
Yeah.
being questioned, her boyfriend Jeffrey Myers was also questioned by the same detectives in another room. According to Kirsty, he and Fallon's stepfather Cameron worked together at a landscaping company on different crews where Jeff claims Cameron got him a job. Jeff also claims that he and Kirsty have been together since around 2014 and living together since 2017. Jeff admits to being in and out of jail due to addiction, but says that since the birth of his and Kirsty's 8-month-old son, he's been trying to do right by his family. In Jeff's interview, he claims he left work at around 5:30 a.m. on December 9th, and that when he got home from work at around 5 p.m., no one else was in the house. He then proceeded to take a shower like he normally would, and when he got out, Kirsty and the kids had arrived home, he suspects, somewhere in the realm of 6 or 6:30. Jeff is questioned about Fallon's demeanor at this time.
I didn't see her until I got out of the shower. I got out of the shower, and she had already put her to go to sleep. So I didn't see Fallon until she woke up to eat dinner. That's when I saw her.
So she was put to bed for like a nap?
Yeah, she was tired. I could hear her crying like she was trying to put her to sleep, go to nap. You know, when babies get tired, they start whining or whatever.
Jeff continues on, claiming that he heard Kirsty putting Fallon down for a nap. Next, he played with the kids while Kirsty made macaroni and cheese. So far, according to Jeff, he had yet to have any interactions with Fallon.
So the first time you actually physically saw her was like at 8:30.
I saw her asleep. I saw her napping.
Yeah.
And then she cooked dinner. And then when she made dinner, it was like 8:30. She yelled, "Fallon, come eat." She yelled it a few times. Fallon came right out the room, came and gave me a hug, because that was the first time that I had seen her since I'd been home.
Brittany,
Really seen her. I mean,
yeah.
She was fine. She seemed fine. She
Thank you,
gave me a
Brittany.
hug, sat down at the table, and we tried to get her to eat, and she wouldn't eat, man. I don't know. Kirsty says she deals with that all the time, about her not eating. So, I don't want to know what goes on during the day when I'm not there. But
So she came out of the room, ran out of the room like normal. Everything seemed fine.
I didn't think she was going to even hear her name be called, honestly, because she called it from the kitchen. You saw what the kitchen is compared to the bedroom.
It's a little bit ways, yeah.
Right. So I didn't think she was here. She came right out, looked fine, gave me a hug. She made her plate. Both the kids, heartburn, Fallon, Holden was already asleep. Sat down at the table. Harper started eating. And
Holden's your son, right?
Yes, sir.
You said he's 8 months.
Yes, sir.
And you said Harper's your daughter?
She's my stepdaughter, pretty much. It's her. She has a baby about now, but it's still.
You're being the dad.
Yeah. Yes. She's 4. We're about to be 4.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they ate. Harper was eating, and she always likes to brag, saying, "Look, I'm eating all my food. I'm eating all my foods," because we're trying to get her to teach Fallon to do that. And Fallon wouldn't eat. We're like, Fallon, you don't want to eat. You don't want to eat. We're sitting there, and she was just looking at us. And she does that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, she's a very quiet child. But this time, like, I'm trying to get her attention, and she's kind of like staring off to the right, like she wouldn't make eye contact with me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was weird. So I'm snapping in her face, and eventually she would make eye contact with me and was coherent, like would understand what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, "Are you okay? You okay?" And she wouldn't say anything. So she was kind of breathing funny, like, I don't know, like maybe she was trying to catch her breath, but wasn't out of breath. I don't know. It was weird, man. I've never heard the noise that she was making before, but we laid her down. She was fine. We stayed there for a few minutes to make sure that.
Did you tell your wife something was wrong with the baby?
We laid her down, saw that she was okay.
No, she
left out and smoked a
She
cigarette.
was breathing good. So how she's okay?
We both said, "Now let's smoke a cigarette." I said, "Let's go. When we get done smoking the cigarette, let's go check on Fallon." I'm worried about it. We were both worried about it. She said we both agreed. We got done smoking the cigarette. I don't know how much time elapsed since then. Honestly, no more than 10 minutes, probably 10 to 15 minutes. Can't be no longer than that.
Now put yourself in Jeff's shoes. You're starting to suspect something isn't quite right with a 2-year-old in you and your partner's care. She's exhibiting signs that she may not fully be responsive, and her breathing was described as a noise you've never heard her make before.
Now, didn't I just say that? You just said she was making noise, something you never heard before, and y'all gonna go and smoke a cigarette. The same thing the girl did yesterday, went and smoked a cigarette and knew the baby was there. Lord, these people, it's crazy. Like, did you tell your girlfriend, let's call the ambulance? She's not breathing good. She's not giving eye contact. Let's call the mother, and then let's call the ambulance. Or call the ambulance first, I would do, and then call the mother. But no, you didn't do anything. Y'all went and smoke a cigarette. Like, come on.
Would your reaction be to disappear outside with your partner to smoke for 10 or 15 minutes and leave the child unattended? Probably not.
So we went back in there, and she was in the same position that we had laid her in on her side, and but she wasn't making any the noise that we had heard from her before. She wasn't doing anything. So I checked her pulse. She grabbed her. She sat her up. We tried to, wake her up. She wouldn't wake up. I checked her pulse. She had a pulse. Tried to get her mouth to mouth, because I could tell that it was like she had shallow. It was really, I could barely feel it. You know what I mean? So we're getting her mouth to mouth.
Exactly, Brittany.
We don't know how to get mouth to
It
mouth.
was her character.
We should have taken that class, and we said we were going to take that class too before Holden was born about the CPR. But
From someone else's kids.
we don't know what we're doing, man. So we put her in the bathtub, trying to shock her into waking up. In that situation, I don't know how to handle anything, man. I've never been in a situation like that.
I get it, man. It's scary. It's scary as hell.
And it's not even my kid, you know what I mean? So
I get it. The first time I had to do CPR on a kid, it wasn't my kid. Man, it jacked me up.
Yeah, I don't want to, you don't know your own strength when you're in a situation like that. So you don't want, I was terrified. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But
so
we put her in the bathtub. She didn't respond to the bathtub. She was only in there for like 15, 20 seconds, maybe. Got her out. I said, let's call 911. Called 911 immediately. The lady walked us through how to give CPR. And then you guys showed up.
The events described are awful to hear. I just can't understand the reasoning behind the cold bath. And Fallon's breathing that Jeff describes hearing might be what's known as agonal breathing. According to WebMD, agonal breathing is
a natural reflex that happens when your brain is not getting the oxygen it needs to survive. Agonal breathing is a sign that a person is near death.
It seems like whatever happened or began to happen to Fallon that caused her injuries started before she sat at that dinner table.
Was anyone helping Kirsty babysit today, or she was just with the kid by herself?
She was just, as far as I know, she was just by herself.
Okay.
She's been doing this
because I always wondered
for months now, man.
Like since August, something like that?
I know since summer, taking care of 3 kids with no issues.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So this is like totally
just crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel, man.
It's shocking, man.
There may not have been any incidents in the months leading up to Fallon's death while Kirsty babysat, but on December 9th of 2020, there definitely was. And right now, that's all that matters. The detective leaves the room for a little while before returning with the second detective from Kirsty's interview. He explains to Jeff that Fallon is alive, even though, like Kirsty, Jeff was already told by another officer that she'd passed. The detective goes on to describe Fallon's injuries in full detail. Jeffrey Myers acts as if there's no way Kirsty Flood could be responsible.
As a project manager, I used to spend all my time at job sites like this. Now, I can organize projects, document projects.
Like she's getting beat or something? Is that?
It looks like it.
Wow.
Sir, I'm not just trying to stick up for my fiance because it's my girl and my baby and my mother or anything like that. This girl does not lay her hands on these children.
Thank you, Brittany. I know you.
I can tell you that. I promise you that. I've been a witness to this, to her being a mother to her daughter since she was 1, and I've not seen her spank her not one time. So with these injuries, I don't know what happened with Fallon. We love Fallon like she's our only little girl. Like I can show you pictures where we spend time with her like she's our own kid. So this is completely baffling to me. I don't know where that would come from or how or anything like that. I know that she was sick and her family or her father was, or stepdad was sick or whatever. That's the only thing I know.
Yeah. Well, sickness wouldn't cause the injuries that she has.
The detective goes on to inform Jeff that the injuries Fallon sustained were not caused by normal child activities. These were clearly signs of extreme abuse. Jeff rehashes exactly what happened from the moment he got home again for the second detective, before the leading detective asks Jeffrey if Kirsty has ever hit the children.
You say you never saw Kirsty ever
So do y'all
smash
think that this baby was already like this when he came in?
None of your children never saw her at Fallon.
Because he said he was at work when he came home, he got in the shower.
Hardly, like I said, sir. I've been in.
So that's why I'm asking y'all this. Do y'all think that this baby was already injured before he got in from work? Because he said when he got in, he went in the shower. And when he got out the shower, I forgot what he said, what happened. But he said he was at work all day. So do y'all think that maybe he didn't do it, but they may still charge him because of the baby injuries, and he did not call the police or call the ambulance or try to get her to call the ambulance or the police? Like, what do y'all think?
And that's not my kid. So I don't discipline him. I don't do anything like that. I let her handle it because I feel like that's right.
Fair enough. I'd probably do the same thing.
Like it was
She grounds her. She takes away things.
You missed a
She may yell
lot.
at her. She may curse at her. But I've never seen her lay her hands on her, not one time.
Yeah.
Not in almost 4 years that I've known.
And you weren't home when Fallon actually got there this morning, right? You were already at work.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, man.
That's what I'm saying. He was not there.
I'm sorry.
No, I
If I could be more help, man. That's just this little girl's okay.
Yeah, me too, because no baby deserves this.
I'm sorry.
All right, let me we're gonna go confer and we're gonna see what we can get you going here, all right?
Yes, sir, I appreciate it.
You think so, parent? Okay.
After detectives leave the room again, Jeff sits alone, frantically texting someone from his phone. I don't know who it is for sure he's messaging, but I wonder if it's Kirsty. If you'll remember in her interview, she was also frantically messaging someone while she was alone. Then when detectives return, they inform Jeff that Fallon is no longer alive.
She is now deceased.
They might take his phone too. But see, he don't know they took her phone.
And I think now's the time. If there's information that we know that has not been told to us, now's the time.
Yeah, Pammy, before I was
Because it's now or never.
Maybe they feel like if he knew she wasn't breathing good and all that stuff,
She
they
is
may
dead.
try to charge him.
And this time, I'm not bullshitting.
Why would this guy get new permanent teeth in 24 hours?
Instead of placing you in temporary teeth,
You get your permanent teeth in 24 hours. After
She's down at the morgue right now.
Detectives go on to inform Jeff of Fallon's injuries, but he maintains that he's given them all the information he knows. He also continues to claim that he and Kirsty treated Fallon like one of their own. As the detectives prepare to leave the room again, one of them brings up the topic of disciplining children.
I'm terribly sorry.
That's crazy, man.
It is. That's what I'm telling you. I've got kids too. I've had all my kids obviously are beyond 2, but what I'm telling you is that I've had times where I've spanked my child and I was like, damn, did I hit my kid on the ass too hard, and I get mad just like anyone else.
Before I need to touch the whole discipline thing, but my son's not old enough yet, so we haven't even gotten to that point yet. You know what I mean? That's why this is.
Well, I mean, like I said, I stand by it. We're being recorded. I got
whooped as a kid, and
I
know
don't get me wrong. I mean, no. What I'm saying is, like, I know there's parameters and limits, but I will never apologize for trying to, because my kids are well mannered. They all say sir and ma'am to people. They're good. All right. Now there's a person that would listen to say, I think I'm a fool and stuff. I don't give a shit. But I'm saying it doesn't, I get if there is, if people fly off the handle and get pissed, because I am a primary, again, I'm not lying to you. I'm incapable of doing so. My kids make me more pissed than anything I've ever seen. Now, I can honestly say I've never done anything, even if that means I go outside and seed for a minute, but, that's all I'm looking for. If there's something that makes more sense because of this, it's just more helpful if that's the case than to not come forward with it. Okay. And that's what I'm basically saying. Even if it's a notion of something that has been said to you, then I would say so. Say, if not, I'm not asking you to say anything that didn't happen.
I want to help you guys. So that's why I've been truthful with you guys.
Understood.
As much as my knowledge.
So, all right. Well, let me go on ahead and find out what's going on, and we'll keep you up, and we'll try to hurry up as much as we can. But obviously, you can tell this is not something. Yeah, this is something small. So, I'm just going to say this is fine.
After detectives leave, Jeff speaks with someone on the phone and explains the situation. At one point, you can actually hear the moment where Kirsty begins to scream in the other room. This is the point in which things got heated in Kirsty's interview between her and the leading detective.
Psychologist appointment tomorrow. You don't understand that? You do understand that?
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'll just trying to see what I'm saying.
Boy, you ain't getting out that room.
Oh, aren't you lovely?
I don't know either. She gets wild look like that. I don't know how she gets.
You worried about her. Hey, you better worry about yourself.
What do you mean? I'm leaving. No, I'm ready to go. You just took everything from me.
Yeah, come in here and sit. We'll talk.
You just took everything from me. You're trying to ruin my entire life.
No, actually, we're just trying to figure out. I'm going to go there, all right?
No, literally, you're trying to ruin my life.
All right, it's my girl. I want to make sure everything's good.
We're trying to get her to go down. We're trying to get y'all out of here in the next couple minutes. She's upset, as can be expected in a situation like this. Say, all we're trying to do is get her to calm down, take a seat so we can get y'all out of here, and then it's hopefully couple nights, okay? So, like I said, everything's fine. We got to go through, we have to do our due diligence, continue to investigate it to the fullest. Then we're going to try to get y'all out of here, okay? That's all it was.
All right.
We didn't need any water. We didn't use restroom or anything. Okay.
Appreciate it.
If you need anything, just knock on the door, wave at the camera, any of those, okay?
All right.
Jeffrey Myers is released shortly after this moment, but this is only Jeff's first interview. The following day, on the 11th of December, Jeffrey Myers and Kirsty Flood are brought back into the police station for further questioning about what occurred 2 days prior on December 9th. Kirsty is under the impression that she's just there to pick up the phone detective seized the day before. During Kirsty's second interview, she is re-questioned by a female employee of the department in a non-threatening manner. Kirsty claims that she helped Fallon's mother get back on her feet when she was dealing with addiction at the request of Kirsty's own brother. Kirsty says she's the one who talked Kristen into going into detox before Fallon was born. She also claims that Chris has been clean ever since. Kirsty then makes further unsubstantiated claims about Fallon's stepfather, Cameron, while also claiming to look after Fallon primarily out of love. She also said she deactivated her Facebook due to the hate she's been receiving online in regards to the death of Fallon. I'm summarizing here because Kirsty rambles quite a lot. Next, Kirsty is asked about whether or not Fallon was a picky eater, which leads back into the topic of the CPR that was administered to the child.
Was she pretty picky eater? She clearly only ate candy and just So at my house, we eat real food. Yeah. You know, we try and incorporate all the, the grain, the veggie, the meat, the spicy, all that. We try to do all that. Yeah. And apparently the sergeant said she had like a carrot lodged down her throat, burning in her esophagus or something. I don't know if it's because she just really didn't want to eat it. I don't know. But the fact that like all of that accumulated, that's impossible to accumulate that fast. I'm sorry, but it is. What do you mean? All of this stuff that detective said happened, with her. He said that she has like a brain something, laceration of the spleen. Also, the people, this is too loose, on the recording line, I am not CPR certified, but they made me give her CPR for about 8 minutes straight like this, 2 inches deep. She's flat on her back. She's 2. Yeah. You don't do that with a 2-year-old. And I didn't think about that till later. You're supposed to flip them over and you're supposed to hit them around the back. There's a reason for it. It's too little right there.
I think Kirsty's wrong about this. I'm no medical expert, but she seems to be describing what's known as back blows that you might give a choking infant. But Fallon was not an infant. Also, Fallon was unconscious. For kids older than 1.
Who says all good things must end? At Fellowship Life, they keep getting better. Learn more today.
Hold on, y'all. This was a long one, just like it was yesterday, too. Okay.
And younger than 8, mouth to mouth, plus chest compressions are the right steps to take when a child is not visibly breathing and responsive. My understanding is that this is the technique used when the assumption is that the problem persists in the child's lungs or airways. The idea is to reoxygenate the blood to save the child. Kirsty Flood critiquing the 911 dispatcher on how to save a life is rich at best.
There was internal whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my mom brought that up. My mom was like, you don't give CPR to a baby like that. You don't do that. You lift them up and you do behind the back like this. Okay. That's how you get it out of them. Okay. You don't do it like that. So whoever that professional was on the phone needs to know that.
Okay. I mean, that's how they're saying that the internal injuries.
That's the only thing I could think of. Like they said something about her stomach.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but the thing is they say go between the nipples, right? Okay. So when you're 2 years old, it's just kind of like there's not a lot of area right there. Right. So I am 200 pounds. She said to get over her like this, and full force 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, like that.
So like when they say 2 inches, you mean like push down, so it goes down 2 inches?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
Like,
They wanted me to like plap it. And I'm like, I am not. I mean, I didn't stop. I wasn't going to stop. I was going to do whatever I had to do. But I'm like, something is not right about this. And then when I would blow the air in her, I would hear this noise in her stomach.
oh, okay.
And then I would do it again. And it did like this, like, I don't know what it was, fluid, what it was. And then she'd go, I mean, it was traumatizing.
I was just going to say that's really traumatic.
And I had to like literally put her in the tub for a second, cold water, maybe shock her toes, something. This is how to lay it like this.
She's just laying there.
Nothing. Nothing. And so we immediately called 911 after that. We were like, no, we just. I was like, please, 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 if there's a heartbeat, there's a chance. Please, 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 please. For the love of God, don't ruin this girl's mom's life. Please. This is going to change her whole life.
That's what you did.
I can't imagine. I can't either. Like, I love my baby so much, I can't even imagine.
So why did you do it to her baby?
Anyways.
I mean, it sounds like you did what you could.
I tried everything. I tried to make her feel like my home was like her home. I tried to make her feel so special. Her mom said she wouldn't even cuddle with her when she'd come in my house in the morning times. A lot of times she would come and just cuddle with me in the bed. Like literally lay there with me for like an hour or two. We wake up sweating together. That's how close we were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when everyone that came over, like my mentor came over on Tuesday, and he was like, he's shocked when I called him. He was like, oh my God, that girl loved you so much. I'm so sorry. He's like, I could just see it. He's like, she just was so happy and so sweet, but she was so quiet. That's a problem.
Hey, Auntie Strong.
She never ever cried. She didn't have anything to say. She just so quiet.
Kirsty tries to convince the woman that she has the patience of a saint and plenty of support around her. She also claims that she reports suspected child abuse to authorities frequently.
But I also am in sobriety. I also have a mentor. I also have a therapist. And I also have a psychiatrist.
You have a lot of support.
I have a lot of support.
This is some similar
that's
story.
really important. I have a lot of people who are willing to go to war for me for this. They know that, I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I'm absolutely incapable of doing anything to harm a child ever. I've called, you know, sometimes I call defects on people. A lot. Literally, I heard one girl left her kid in a crib, screaming for like 14 hours a day, like multiple days in a row, and her diaper rash was so bad.
Oh, good.
That, whatever. So I called. I was like, yeah, I called immediately. You know, I heard another girl. She would always just put her kid in front of the TV in a high chair and just let it sit there all day. It's not parenting. No. It's abuse. It's neglect. Right. So, you know, things like that, like the neighbor upstairs, like same thing. Like, you know, you have random men going in and out of your house. You leave at 2:00 in the morning every night. Where are you going? You're not going to work. Right. What are you doing? Be a mom. Yeah. You got 3. Come on. Step up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kirsty rehashes the events that led up to the moment that her and Jeff went out to smoke a cigarette, during which time they left the child unattended for 10 to 15 minutes. When they returned, Fallon was completely unresponsive.
What a heartbreaking finish to the season.
March Sadness? You can tell it off that.
And I was like, Fallon, you okay? Fallon. She just... And then I pick her up with, and I'm like, oh my God.
This is likely the point at which a reasonable person would definitely call 911.
Oh my God. I knew. I knew right then, no matter what we had to do, we had to call the ambulance.
According to Kirsty's previous interview, this is not when she called emergency services. Kirsty is still leaving out the fact that she put Fallon in a cold bath. As she goes on rambling, her story is inconsistent and all over the place. Kirsty eventually tells the interviewer that she likes her energy and believes the detective who originally interviewed her isn't giving her a fair chance. She's worried about her record before continuing to paint Fallon's family in a negative light.
You can't pull something out of nothing. You know what I mean? So you can't just, I know it's a state where it's like innocent proven until proven, whatever.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, but you know, that's just bull, because if you put that on my record and I do, which I will, get, proven innocent, if it goes down that route, it's still going to be on my record. You know what I mean? So can he really, really think about everything he's going to be doing and really do the research on the father and stuff?
Yeah, and
the mother.
Yeah.
The mother's a drunk and the dad's on methadone. And has a
She's
child
still trying to blame.
Charge. I mean,
if y'all listening, she's still trying to blame the mother of the child and the father of that child. But they did not have this child when this happened. It was in your care. Why you keep bringing up the mother and the father of this child? You was taking care of this child when this happened. You trying to shift the gear as the mother is a bad mother and the father. But no, you're not going to get out of this. So stop doing it.
Right. The differences are huge.
Right.
In the dynamics. You look at my home, you look at that home, you look at, I'm not trying to be, I'm just being factual.
No, you're not being nothing.
Why was she so little?
Kirsty is left inside the room again for a while before a new, more official-looking detective appears alongside the female cop whom she met last time she was interviewed. Kirsty is about to repeatedly inform the detective that she has a lawyer, and this is where things really take a turn for her as she discovers she's not there to retrieve her phone.
Kirsty.
Yeah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
My odd son. Here you go.
Listen, I'm Detective Mike Burson. I'm kind of assisting in this whole case.
I thought I was just here to keep our phone.
You are. And I ran down there and they just about got your phone. You didn't have a proper receipt. So it's kind of hard to find it. When you have a proper receipt, they can pull it that quick. So it's just going to take a couple minutes, okay?
I'm so exhausted.
I know.
Mentally. You don't understand. My heart hurts so bad. Go ahead.
I understand. I really do. And I want to make this as fast as I can, okay? All right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, just because we're gonna
I have a lawyer. Do you need to talk to him? I'm not supposed to talk to anybody.
So you're not going to talk to me?
I mean, it just depends what we're going to talk about. I just spent a lot of money on a lawyer for a reason.
Okay, so you have a lawyer.
The lady made me feel like I was somebody I am not, and I'm not going to be made feel that way ever again. So my lawyer, that's why I got a lawyer, the way he treated me last
Okay,
time.
so you're going to talk or what?
Okay, so what you're telling me, you retained a lawyer,
I
correct?
did. I'll give you his phone number.
Okay, no, that's okay. Okay, then I can't talk to you.
And yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's
It has all the live footage and everything too.
No, I saw the live footage, but no, if you have a lawyer.
You saw it was great, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I can't talk to you anymore now since you got a lawyer.
But I'm
Okay?
just saying, sir, please,
don't say
take
you got
into
a lawyer
consideration how much I love this baby.
I believe me, from what I saw, I fully understand, Kirsty, I really do. Okay, all right. Sit tight, we'll get you out of here, okay? All right. All right, Kirsty, just swing over here this way. Just move your legs out this way.
Why?
Because I gotta put this on you. Okay?
Why?
Because.
I have not. No. You're not about to jam me up right now without. No. I never gave you any information about my lawyer. So you can't detain me.
Yeah, we can. You're under arrest.
For what?
You're under arrest.
For what? For what? For what?
Bring it in.
Jersey's expensive, and it's a problem.
I'm going to cut your taxes and solve this problem.
Under arrest.
You're under arrest.
For what?
I'll show you the ones in a minute. I'll forget you secure.
I need my phone and my lawyer. Right now.
Well, you don't need no phone because you're going to jail.
That opportunity.
Right now.
Use a jail phone.
That's why I came here, was for my phone.
Y'all
Y'all actually just entrapped me, is what you just did.
That's actually not called a trap.
That is entrapment, because Officer Myers just said I would not be getting locked up the minute I walk in here to get my phone. That's entrapment. I know my laws.
Well, you obviously don't.
That's entrapment. He literally just said he would not be locking me up. That's what he just said. And my children are at home.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're with defects with your mom. They're not with you.
Excuse me, you're not about to pull my leg like that. You need to chill.
Okay.
Okay? Where is Jeff? In my car and everything else that I own is outside.
Still outside?
Where's he?
Jeff's in the lobby.
Does he know that you're arresting me?
Not yet. He'll know here in a minute.
Hello. That's why you slept.
Why this one?
Oh, get it now. Okay.
When Kirsty's phone was searched by authorities, they found something chilling in her search history. At around 10 a.m. on December 9th of 2020, the day Fallon sustained her fatal injuries, Kirsty Flood had searched the following phrases. What type of people enjoy abusing other people's children? And what does it mean to have a sudden urge to beat a child that's not yours? This was just hours before Kirsty asked if Fallon could stay at her house.
Wow.
Evidence gathered from the camera feed in Kirsty's home also painted a better picture of how Fallon sustained her injuries. Kirsty Flood was later indicted on the following charges: murder, cruelty to children in the first degree, cruelty to children in the second degree, felony murder, murder in the second degree, tampering with evidence, and finally, shocking everyone, aggravated sexual battery. Yes, Fallon was alleged by grand jurors to have been violated by Kirsty Flood. That's how sick this monster was. This was how much of a liar she was in her interrogation. And on top of everything, she abused Fallon in front of her own 3-year-old daughter, Harper. According to Chris on the Justice for Fallon Facebook page, Kirsty Flood had also been abusing her own children too. She alleges that authorities went back through weeks of Kirsty's nanny cam footage and found other instances of abuse and neglect. She even claims that Kirsty's young son was left in a walker for as long as 8 hours at a time. Jeffrey Myers was also later arrested and indicted on the following charges: false statements, tampering with evidence, cruelty to children in the second degree, and murder in the second degree. He knew what Kirsty was doing, and he didn't stop it. Then, in a bombshell twist, Kirsty's mother, Karen Flood, was also indicted on the offense of influencing a witness, where it was alleged that she engaged 3-year-old Harper Flood in misleading conduct to prevent her from giving information to Sandy Springs PD in connection with the murder of Fallon Fridley.
Wow.
While Kirsty and Jeff pled not guilty initially, on the 18th of March 2024, Kirsty Flood changed her plea to guilty and received the punishment of life without parole. Jeff also accepted a guilty plea deal to murder in the second degree. He was handed down a 15-year sentence by a judge. His and Kirsty's pleas made it so that Chris would not have to suffer a lengthy trial in court. I guess at the very least, justice has been served to Kirsty. But believe it or not, the battle wasn't over. DFCS placed Harper Flood in the care of her nearest relative, and that relative was Karen Flood. Harper's paternal side of the family say Kirsty used to call them from jail frequently and protest her innocence, but when they started to realize she was guilty, they stopped taking her calls. According to them, this is when Harper's biological father, Avery, was cut off from contacting Harper. Kristen Fridley loved Harper Flood and began to promote a campaign run by Harper's biological family called #BringHarperHome. It was aimed at paying for legal bills associated with taking Kirsty's family to court in order to get custody of Harper, who they say, at the time, hadn't even received adequate counseling after witnessing her own mother beat her 2-year-old best friend to death. The GoFundMe raised over $16,000.
Wow.
In May of 2021, Avery was finally awarded custody of Harper Flood. The last update to the campaign shows countless photos of Harper looking happier than ever with her father, siblings, and paternal side of the family. I have no further updates on Harper's status, but I certainly hope she's doing well and continues to smile. Kristen Fridley continues to post on the Facebook page, where she has since welcomed a son named Asher into the world on December 18th of 2021. She's also looking forward to welcoming a baby girl into the world this year. That baby girl's due date is December 9th, 2024, the day Fallon was attacked. I have little doubt that Fallon's siblings and Harper Flood will ever forget the angel that was Fallon Lynn Fridley. If you see something, say something. Never hesitate to save a life or inform authorities when a child's well-being is threatened. There's no excuse. There are a number of resources that can help. Here's a list of numbers you may need right now. I'm Mr. Black, and this is The Disturbing Truth.
Let me tell y'all something. That mother is going to be very careful, y'all. Hold on, let me remove this. Or who she ever gets to babysit. This baby she have now. Hold on, let me just. Oh Lord, what did I do? All right, hold on. This mother is going to be very, very careful now who she gets to let babysit the baby she just had. You know, she's going to be very lenient of that. You know, because of what happened, and I don't blame her. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to take this down. Pammy Pooh said, "What? Yes, girl." All right, I'm trying to get this. All right, here we go. All right. Oh, what I'm doing? Come on. Oh, okay. So yeah, that was a very sad story, y'all. So I hope she just be aware of who she get to babysit now, the next baby. I know she will, you know, and she probably gonna always feel unsafe. You know, she probably gonna always feel unsafe about, you know, her baby now because of what happened to that last baby. And can we blame her? No, we can't blame this woman. We can't blame this woman at all. So let me just hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get to another story I can do right quick. Let me just try to get to it right quick. Hold on. If anyone of y'all want to donate a coffee or two, you can. Just let me just bear with me for a minute. Because I'm trying to get to the other story. Let me see. There's another story I wanted to cover, but I'm trying to get to it. All right, let me get up out of here and maybe I can find it. Let's see. Man, that was so sad. Okay, I think I found it. All right. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see. Was that live? Hold on. Let me see. Okay, y'all. We're going to get to the story of the 13-year-old girl that they found. Right? So let's hear some of that. And they might not show everything, y'all, that I seen on Facebook, because I seen it live. Let me see. Okay. Hold on. Maybe I'll do this. Okay. Okay, they got different parts to it, y'all. So I'm just gonna play different parts of this. All right. So let me just go to this one first because they got so many parts of it here. Ooh, Lord, I don't know which one to play first. I'm trying to see. All right. All right, let me bring it up, y'all. I have to bring it up. Okay. And y'all put a one in the chat if you can hear it.
Kimani she was phenomenal. Kimani was a helper. She loved older music. She loved playing video games. She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was highly intelligent. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around. She was phenomenal. Like I said, she was like no other kid her age.
This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off.
I just wish that when I was down here last that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me. So this would never happen. A lot of things, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her.
One of our SWAT teams was working a dangerous individual who was wanted for a serious crime.
This is an absolute.
This is her father, y'all.
Our town.
The
Our
one that
SWAT
did
are the
it.
best of the best. We send a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
It's just devastating that that me and my family have to go through this.
We are tracking new developments in a disturbing story. A 13-year-old girl reportedly killed by her father. Her body left inside an abandoned home in East Toledo.
Along with Kaylee Maritet, I am Jeff Smith. It is a situation that continues to evolve. Toledo police issuing an alert that Kimani Lateef was missing 1 week ago. 6 days later, TPD finds her body, and now new information on how Kimani died and where the man who police say killed her is right now.
Here's what we've learned in the last few hours. Police say a SWAT team found Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, in Columbus. There was reportedly an altercation and officers shot Jones. Officials say they recovered a gun and Jones is expected to survive.
Lucas County Coroner's Office also releasing Kimani's cause of death. An autopsy showed that she died from multiple wounds to the neck, and the coroner ruled her death a homicide.
Late this afternoon, Kimani's grandmother spoke exclusively with WTOL 11. We have that full interview in just a moment.
Here's how the story has unfolded over the last week. Toledo police posted the alert that Kimani was missing on Tuesday, March 18th. It was just after 4 p.m. She was last seen reported at her grandmother's home on Elm Street. That's in North Toledo. The next day, WTOL 11 spoke with the teen's grandmother, Dorothy Lateef. She's also Kimani's legal guardian. She said she came home from work Tuesday morning, found Kimani was missing. She called her school before making a report to Toledo police.
By Friday, family, friends, and even strangers came out to North Toledo to search for Kimani. Her mother, Tiara Caston, was there from Cleveland. Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, would be charged with abduction on Sunday, March 23rd. Court documents showed he was the last person with her before she went missing.
And then on Monday, March 24th, police found a body inside a home on Miami Street in East Toledo. The Lucas County Coroner's Office would later
That's
identify
what
the
they found her
remains
body in
as
that
those
abandoned house.
of the 13-year-old Kimani Lateef. Her time of death posted at 12:19 p.m.
We have team coverage tracking all of the angles and developments in this investigation, from an exclusive interview with Kimani's grandmother to her school, her life, and her death.
Plus, Andre Norrell spoke with members of Toledo City Council about what they plan to do next. And Steve Iwanek is with family and community members gathered to make sure Kimani's memory lives on.
We start first with the new information out of Columbus. Police there say officers from a SWAT team shot Kimani's dad, Darnell Jones, just before noon.
A spokesperson for the Columbus Police Department did not identify Jones initially, but has since named him as the suspect that officers encountered Tuesday morning.
One of our SWAT teams was working a dangerous individual who was wanted for a serious crime. And SWAT was given information that this gentleman was in this particular area. When SWAT arrived, they did make contact with the suspect in question that they were looking for, confirming the identity of, in fact, that suspect being the person that they were watching. At some point during the interaction with SWAT officers, I can confirm that an officer did discharge their firearm, striking the suspect. The suspect was transported to a local hospital. That suspect is currently in stable condition. Thankfully, no officers were injured. No one in the public was injured, but it's important to know, obviously, given this is an unusual area where we do not see a lot of crime, we just want to reassure the public that this is a safe, contained situation and there's no longer a threat to the public.
Were any guns recovered off of the suspect?
I can confirm that there was a firearm recovered from the scene that obviously was not the police firearm. So like I said, it's still early. We're working through that, but I can confirm we did recover a firearm.
Do we know what the suspect was doing in this area?
We don't know that, and that is one of the things that investigators are actively trying to determine right now, because we don't believe there's any reason for him to be in this specific area in terms of knowing someone or trying to engage in any additional criminal activity.
Was the suspect pulled over in a car? We saw a car that was being looked at. Yeah. Was he in a home? Where was he?
There was a vehicle involved, and this interaction, I can say, happened outside. Beyond that, we can't get into the specifics just yet until we continue the investigation.
So you're saying he's unstable, so you believe these are not life-threatening injuries?
Correct. We do believe that he will survive his injury.
While the spokesperson for Columbus Police didn't release much information, the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 9, did. He detailed some of the disturbing details in this case and outlined his understanding of why officers were searching for Jones in the first place.
I received a call we never want to get. One of our officers was involved in a police-involved shooting. Immediately went to scene to speak to our officer, one of our SWAT officers, a dedicated officer, highly trained, as you know, our Special Operations Bureau, longtime member. He's okay. Thank God he's okay. When I heard about this case, this was an individual wanted for homicide out of Toledo. I called my union counterpart in Toledo. I said, hey, good news, we have your guy. Your guy committed a murder, chose to fled to our town. I'll tell you right now, the wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will go out looking for you. This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off.
Yeah.
This is an absolute animal that came into our town. I understand some of your editors won't let you print the word animal or view the word animal. If people are more offended to how I'm describing him, how he treated that girl, that's on them, not on me. Again, I'm glad our officers are okay. Our SWAT are the best of the best. We just send a message. You murder somebody, do not come to this town.
Do you know anything about what led up to the shooting?
I know they were looking for him. I worked the street yesterday, and there was a bolo put out yesterday about this, so it was on everybody's mind. The officers are circulating area, patrol detectives, they're looking for this individual. This is what SWAT does. SWAT goes out there. Some of them have uniforms, some are in plain clothes, in plain cars. It's my understanding that they had a location on this suspect vehicle, and they did what they do. They circulated the area, they saturated the area of the short north, and one of the SWAT officers did find them. There was a confrontation. The individual had a gun. You pull a gun on his officers. We've said many times, this is the outcome you could expect. The officers shot him. It's my understanding he is in a local hospital right now.
This cop ain't playing about his town. Okay.
I just know a gun was recovered from the scene.
Brian, can you talk about, you mentioned how obviously how dangerous this suspect was, how relieved you are that none of your officers or any of the nearby neighbors
100%
were injured given what it could have been?
It's my understanding this individual might have been walking around the Short North area all night. You got to, not just a murderer, a violent murderer, a sadistic murderer in our neighborhoods is appalling. Again, thankful for the men and women of the Division of Police, our members, for going out there every day, finding these individuals and removing them from our street. I'm so glad nobody else was hurt.
Hours after police found Kimani's body in that abandoned East Toledo home, videos posted to social media Monday appeared to show officers taking her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, away in handcuffs. Police have since said that she was not arrested, and Dorothy talked exclusively with WTOL 11 Silver Barker about Kimani and what she says really happened between her and TPD.
My first question for you, yesterday, lots of things was going on.
Yo, this
We
is
want
her
to know
house.
specifically
And I
at
was
your
telling y'all
home. There was a lot of
yesterday that they
speculation
found her in.
online
And
that
the
you were being
blood
arrested,
doors,
but when we checked
where
the
they brought
police,
the
that was
body
not
out
the
at.
case.
It's
So
all
can
cleaned
you
up now,
further
but it
clarify
wasn't
on
cleaned up
exactly
like
what
that.
did happen yesterday afternoon?
Before yesterday, I watched the whole live on Facebook.
Well, I was called
And
and
the mother
told
friend
that
was live
there
on
was a mob of people in front of my house. They were angry. It was more or less the people that were here earlier.
So the mother friend was on live yesterday. So I watched it, not yesterday, day before yesterday. So I watched the whole thing live. And they bring her out that back door in the bag, but they had it like a yellow, like plastic thing so people wouldn't see the bag with her body in it. And then they called the mother over there to the van, the grandmother, to identify the body because the mother does not have custody of her. The grandmother had custody of her, and he did cut the baby hands off and he slit her throat. And the mother friend was on live saying that he did that because that baby had secrets that she was going to tell on him. Now, this is what the mother friend was saying on live, and that's why he took that baby life.
Waiting to see if it was Kimani that was in the home.
Yeah, they're doing all
And
the evidence up there.
basically some people from the neighborhood had contacted me and said that there was a
That's where
mob
they
in front of
bring
my
the baby
house and
out,
they were
right
talking
there.
about what they were going to do to me once I came home. So the police, the detective said that she would have a unit come out and help me get my things and more or less escort me off the property. I asked to be handcuffed just so they can get the away from my property.
Are you scared?
So no,
Yes, y'all, she is getting death threats, y'all. She is getting death threats because what happened to that little girl, which is her granddaughter. The community feels like she felt the granddaughter also. Now, I don't know how often this little girl was going to the doctor, that the grandmother did not see that she was being touched by the father, allegedly. I don't know none of that. But yeah. She had people sitting out in front of her house.
I was never arrested. I was taken downtown, but I was never arrested.
Are you scared for your safety right now?
I am.
What are some of the things that you've been hearing and receiving from people?
They said they was going to blow up my house. They said they was going to do harm to me. It's just been a barrage of different things that they've been stating.
And now, yesterday, or let's backtrack first for a little bit. So you are the guardian of Kimani, or you were the guardian of Kimani, correct?
I am the legal guardian of Kimani.
Okay. So in terms of taking care of her, when was Kimani placed under your care?
A year ago.
You take care of her.
She's been in my home for the past 5.5 years, but I just obtained legal custody of her a year ago.
Were you and Kimani close?
We were.
What were some of the things, trying to think of her and paint a memory of her in a good light, right now with everything that's going on, what was Kimani like? Tell me a little bit about how Kimani was in the time that you've got to her.
Kimani was phenomenal. Kimani was a helper. Like she was older than what she appeared to be. Like, you know how they say somebody has an old soul? She was that. She loved older music. She loved playing video games. She loved the friends and family that she was allowed to be around. She played basketball for Spring Elementary. She was highly intelligent. So I'd like to clear up the mental issue statements. No, she was not mentally ill in any way. We had her, assessed, and they didn't feel as if anything was wrong with her mentally. So that was not a issue. But back to Kimani, she would, like, say, for instance, someone would come over and they had children.
Thank you.
They didn't have to worry about their kids because Kimani immediately embraced them and would play with them.
The results are in. Every single time I got an update, I would screenshot it and send it to him.
It was like you knew that was the perfect gift.
Kid stuff. She was phenomenal. Like I said, she was like no other kid her age.
What school did Kimani go to?
She went to Spring Elementary.
And we were told that at that time she was doing good in school as well too, correct?
She was. She had brought her grade point average up from a 3.4 to a 3.9. And actually they were going to have an award ceremony for the basketball players today at 5:30. But when I divulged to them that she had passed, they've rescheduled it. She was going to receive her trophy for being, on the team and stuff.
And she has a birthday that's coming up.
Her birthday is Friday.
And she would have been turning 14.
She would have been 14.
Did you have any plans for her birthday?
We were going to have her a large birthday party because it would have been her first birthday where, once again, all of my children were together and could participate in the party. Her mom was supposed to come and everything. So I asked her early on, what type of party do you want? She said she wanted a basketball themed party. So that's what I bought, things that revolved around her playing basketball. I'm still receiving stuff in the mail for that.
So there's been some confusion now in terms of when it comes to family, who's her biological father, who is her biological mother, and then also was she in the foster care system? Can you clear up a little bit of all of that? When Kimani was placed in your care, when is the LCCS, who exactly did she come from and how did she
came from her other legal guardian. I choose not to state her name, but she came from her other legal guardian because the other legal guardian and I were best friends. The other legal guardian is my daughter, Kimani's mom, godmother. And we had already discussed early on, because she's been with this person since she was 9 months old. My daughter has never really had custody of Kimani. So she's been with this person since she was 9 months old until, like I said, maybe 5.5 years ago. Now, off and on, this person, we would interact and, do different things with her, for her, or I would contact her and tell her, well, I need this, or Kimani would like that. And she would come by and oblige, and we would commence. It's just too much.
Earlier you mentioned, when you were talking about what Kimani was like, you had mentioned that when family members did come over, who were allowed around her. Can you expand on that? Is there family members that weren't allowed around her?
No, it's just not very many that came around. And those that did, she acted, as far as I'm concerned, she acted accordingly. She embraced all children, bad or good. Okay, next question.
So now we do know that Darnell, people are looking for Darnell Jones right now. The police are looking for Darnell Jones, and there's an arrest warrant out for him. Do you have any idea of his whereabouts?
Oh, well, to my knowledge, he was just arrested in Columbus. He just recently had a shootout with the police in Columbus. They're saying that he confessed to her murder, and no, I take that back. They're saying that he confessed to her rape and slitting her throat.
Oh, so he did. Oh, so that's what the mama friend was saying.
I can't even say.
Wow.
You know, as the police report mentions,
sad.
Kimani was last seen with Darnell. You know, do you have any regrets of letting Kimani go with, as you're her guardian, do you have any regrets of letting Kimani go with Darnell?
I do. Only because, like I said, I feel deceived. I feel like this was pre-planned. I feel like you meant to do this. I feel like you was grooming her.
When you say grooming her, is there things that you saw before this leading up?
No, I never saw anything out the ordinary. But when molesters decide to choose prey, they groom you first.
Absolutely.
So
right.
they give you gifts.
Yeah.
They try and make you comfortable with them.
Yeah,
They try
she's
and
right.
say little things to you that you and they can keep secret.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they pounce.
Right. She's telling the truth.
And that's how I feel that oh God, how all of this is played out, I feel that's what happened. She was a virgin. She didn't like boys.
There's also comments, and we're just trying to address those and get those addressed. But there's comments online and speculation again that, you know, Kimani, her home situation, she was abused. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, abuse in whose eyes? Because she was not abused. Yes, she was chastised whenever she was wrong or did things wrong. Other than that, she was not abused. She was not just whooped for no reason or just because I felt like it. I've went through this twice because the school system had contacted CSB on her behalf when she went to Bennett Academy. And they came in, they did a case study and closed it. They've stated there's a way to chastise children without physically harming them. And you need to whoop them on their behind, nowhere else. So, okay, with that in mind, I knew that. So she didn't have like bruises all over.
How long ago was that when they came into your home?
I would say the latest, it was approximately 7 months ago.
And so you say the latest. So was it a few times that they came into your
It
home?
was twice total.
So twice total that they came into your home. Okay. And it was all for like you mentioned, what you just said. Earlier,
Yes.
explaining.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of, you know, this whole situation, so you were not arrested, correct? And that's
Correct.
what, you know, a lot of people seem to think as they saw you going out in custody. That's what you asked for, correct?
Yes.
That was our Silver Barker there. Kimani's family came out of town to search for her. Now they say they're planning a funeral instead. Silver Barker spoke with Kimani's aunt about the relationship and the things she says she regrets.
I'm Dorothy's second oldest daughter. I'm Kimani's aunt. My name is Sanika. I live in Indianapolis. All this that is going on is devastating. You wouldn't think that, you know, you see it happen around the world, but when it hits close to your heart, you really just be thinking like, did I do something wrong? Did I fail her? She didn't have the life to live that we have got to grow and live. She was only 13. So to know that somebody that I trusted, which was her father, to come through and deceive us just to get to Kimani in some sexual way or a harmful way, that hurts me to the fullest. And the point I feel like I failed her, me as being her aunt, a person that she could run to and tell anything and everything to. That was my girl. That was my baby. And to hear all of this, to know all of this, and to be going through all this and hearing it for as long as that it went on, it's very devastating. I see so many people that are supposed to be my family that's going against my mom and me for that instance, and saying like, oh, you know, she failed her, she had something to do with it, she had this and that. It doesn't matter at this point. For right now, and until we get justice for Kimani, it's all about Kimani. What I would like to say is there's a lot of people on the internet starting GoFundMe's, and that's not what we need right now, because it's not what Kimani needs. The funeral home has objected to say that they're going to come and pay for everything. So there's no need for any GoFundMe pages, any of that. Everything is being taken care of that needs to be taken care of by her family, her immediate family.
Does it upset you that there are GoFundMes? Some of them, I think, in cases might be scams too, as well.
What upsets me is that people are starting these GoFundMe pages and putting Kimani name underneath it, and they know that it's going to get viewed, and people have sympathy and feel some type of way about that. And some of them can be scams, but I know some of them have come from family members. When just let the immediate family handle that. Like, what y'all gonna do with the money if y'all not turning it into the funeral home? There's no need. Let us handle it. Y'all just sit back and give us the emotional support that we need. That's what we need right now. As a family, as a community, we should all come together and just give each other the emotional support that we honestly need. And that's just what I asked for everybody to, calm down, breathe. I know this is a hard time because it's not just a hard time for y'all. This is a rough time for me. I just need y'all to come together and understand that we need each other as a community, as a family, and emotional support is what we need the most in this situation.
Yesterday the crowd was. Yesterday, you were here. I'm assuming the crowd was very upset. Lots of emotions going through too. Especially at this time with such a sensitive situation. We've heard multiple comments out in the crowd. Attacking or pointing fingers at your mom. So what has it been like? Finding her support system and helping her out.
In a way, you have to be mature enough to decide, am I going to follow along with the crowd, or am I going to stick around with the loner? I'm to the point where I'm not following nobody. I'm going with what's right. If it was your mother, if it was your niece, would you console your mother? Would you console the person that was closest to her, who lived with her? I'm not out to have a torch in the pitchforks and all out to go against anybody except the person who did this, which I believe was her father, Darnell. I don't have any other anger pushed towards anybody else. I'm angry that this happened, but I'm angry at the person who did this.
Do you know if have you been in contact with Tiara, the mother?
Yeah, I've been in contact with my sister. It's been briefly. It's been over through text. Like I said, I live in Indianapolis. I seen her yesterday, but that was very brief. It wasn't even more than 5 minutes. It was more or less that she wanted to show me my other niece, Kazaria, which is Kimani's youngest sister. But it wasn't like it was oh sis, what are we gonna do? Any of that. And I don't wish this on nobody. I really don't. Yeah. I could, your mind go different places when it's a baby. That was a baby. Like I said, I have a very close relationship with Kimani. She was a tomboy. She wasn't out looking for, trying to be fast or, mischievous or any of that. So for her mother to come down and have all this to say and all that.
Yeah, we don't.
Tier, where was you for the past 4 years? We haven't seen you since Kimani TikTok party.
You're not lying. This word is wicked.
You haven't called her. You haven't sent her anything. You haven't said, oh, baby, I'm going to come get you for a weekend. We haven't seen you until this happened. Why we got to see you when it's a tragic moment? So, Tiara, where do you stand?
And Tiara lives in Cleveland. Right?
Yes.
And so the past 4 years, you're saying there was very little communication.
Very, very minimum. It wasn't even, she'll call my mom. She'll go through me and say, have you talked to mommy? And I'm like, no, about what? And she'll say, oh, well, she got custody of Kimani and she trying to get child support from me. So it wasn't that Tiara was concerned about Kimani. It was more of why she want child support from me.
What is the relationship between your mother and your sister, Tiara?
It's very distant. They had their words. They fought. Kimani mother has a godmother that Kimani was with before my mom got her. And there was no communication then from Tiara. I feel like Tiara just let her go. Because any mother would be on her toes to get her children back. That wasn't the case here. It just wasn't.
When was Kimani When was Kimani taken away from Tiara?
I'll say about 7-8 months, and then Tiara godmother stepped in and got custody of Kimani, which would have been around 9 months. Yeah, and Kimani had been with that lady from 9 months all the way up until about, I say, 5.5 years ago. So it wasn't like Tiara was actually in the picture, you know, saying, hey, maybe I can start getting myself together to get my child back so nobody else can get her.
You ever worried for Kimani's safety with any of the family members or anyone?
I wouldn't say I was worried because I was here. I was here every winter break, spring break, holidays, birthdays. I was here for Kimani. Yes, you come and you enjoy time with your family, but I was here for my niece. I also brought my youngest sister and
it
her
is sad.
2
It's
kids from
definitely
Indianapolis
sad.
to be here for Kimani because we've been in the system before. So I know how it feels to feel
I
like,
don't
dang,
understand.
I'm
Like,
at somebody's house or not feeling not
why would
wanted.
her
I
father
know
do
those
that to
feelings.
her?
So I tried to give Kimani that at
Then
all times because
oh
she's
my
wanted
God,
and
I just
loved
can
by her
imagine her
aunts.
pain, cutting the girl hands off
And
and
this is just
slitting her
devastating
throat.
that I have to go
Like,
through
that's
this for the rest of my
oh
life
my
and
God,
knowing
I
I'll
just can't
never
imagine.
have the embrace of my
I can't
niece.
imagine that little girl
Hey,
pain.
TT, what you doing? When you coming down here, I'll never get to hear that from my baby again. And that's what kills me the most. I just wish that when I was down here last, that I had just taken her to Indianapolis with me. So this would have never happened. A lot of things, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I just really wish that whatever happened and whoever did this, y'all didn't have to do that to her. There's plenty of people out here with, grown people that put themselves out there to be, the sex workers or whatever it may be. You didn't have to do this to a child. There was nothing that Kimani would have done to make you hurt her. So she was a very timid kid, tomboyish, reserved. She wasn't, loud and out there. So it's just devastating that me and my family have to go through this.
Is there anything else that you would like to add at this time in the interview? Anything else that I didn't ask, maybe?
I just want people to understand that family is family. And at the end of the day, don't be so eager to go against your family. Talk to your family and talk to the children. These children may be scared to talk to the parents about things that's going on or what may be going on because they feel like they may get in trouble. But make it known that to your kids that you can talk to me
about anything.
Make it very
whatever.
open.
I
You can talk
always
to
said
me
that.
about
Yep.
any and everything. Because that's what these kids need to hear nowadays. Instead of going on social media and talking to somebody over social media about it, like he did this or she may done that. Talk to your family because they can handle. They're the adults. They're supposed to handle it.
Our community is grieving alongside Kimani's family right now. Many at a vigil at the home where Kimani was found Monday. Steve Iwanek shares their story.
Talk to me about why this has created such a passion within you and what you want to see happen in the future for people who may be going through a situation that Kimani may or may not have been going through in her own life.
The reason why I have so much passion for this, I guess it was my upbringing. It started with my grandmother. She was always telling us, if you do the right things, then you don't have to worry about anything. If you walk right, then you don't have to worry about anything. And having that upbringing, I was brought up in church. You know what I'm saying? I was not the kid that was not spared the rod. I was given the rod, okay? So I understand what discipline was all about. And I think for me is to show the love, give back to my community in a time like this because you don't want to see it happen to another child.
This 13-year-old girl now, some people say she has found peace. I can't say that on behalf of her family. I'm just what I've read online. What do you say to Kimani right now as she's, I'll take it through my perspective of faith, she's looking down now. What do you think she is saying to her community and her family?
Kimani was never ours. She was just loaned to us. She was a vessel in a shell.
And I always say
She
that.
had
I
peace.
say that. My mother taught me that.
No more hurt, no more pain, no more
Our
going
kids
through
is
nothing.
not our kids.
She
They is
know her
they're
Father,
God
heaven
kids.
above, has
God
her.
just lent us these kids. These kids just passing through.
Kimani was a 7th grader at Spring Elementary. Now her school is in mourning.
Now, Michael Sandlin went to TPS to find out how the district is helping students there process her death.
Jeff, today counselors and therapy dogs were brought in to help the students and teachers deal with grief. But one student tells me that didn't stop the tears from flowing. I met 7th grader Imani Fisher outside of her school holding up a sign paying tribute to her fallen classmate. With permission from her mother, Imani told me about how sweet of a girl Kimani was. While Kimani came from a troubled background, in and out of 5 schools before coming to Spring, both school leaders and Imani tell me she really flourished at Spring. She developed a reputation for being smart and kind and would help Imani with her schoolwork when she didn't understand it. She also loved basketball and played with the other kids whenever she could. Now, with the news of her passing spread across the school, Imani and her younger brother Keegan tell me the energy in the classroom was very different this morning.
I've seen some people crying and stuff, a lot of people crying. Sad and very quiet.
I noticed that you made the sign. Why did you decide to make the sign for her?
So everyone can have a memory of her.
How do you hope people remember her by?
About how kind she was.
Kimani was set to get a kindness award from the school later this week. Her birthday was also this week. She would have been 14 years old. In studio, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
We talked previously with Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsa-Cabbage. He says that he wants to see the legal process play out, though he wants to see the book thrown at whoever is responsible. Andre Norrells asked Toledo City Council what needs to happen next.
Several council members took the time to talk about Kimani's death. Many of them called it tragic. One of those was Council President Carrie Hartman. First, tell me, what was your reaction when you first heard about this?
I mean, I heard about it last week. When she first went missing, it wasn't far from where I live. And so I know there's been a lot of commentary online, on social media, as the news was breaking. And as the news keeps rolling in, it keeps getting more shocking.
I know it's early on, the investigation is still underway, but has there been conversations on what council can maybe do, any looking at what can be introduced to try to help this?
Yeah, I mean, the news, it's all happening so fast. I think it's going to take us a little bit of time if we're going to do anything legislation wise. But I know that we've already been talking about how do we get some of these blighted buildings boarded up so that there isn't any crime or mischief going on in these blighted houses. But as one council member said, it wasn't the house that killed this poor girl. So I think it is more about the community and whether or not our community is going to tolerate violence like this.
It can be challenging for parents to talk to their kids about situations like Kimani's murder. Megan Hartnett went to an expert to find out how parents can start this conversation.
Kaylee, it's important to make sure kids have a safe space to ask questions or voice any concerns they may have. Representatives from parents of murdered children say parents should monitor how much information kids are taking from social media and news sources. We are still learning more details about what happened to Kimani, and there are a lot of rumors online. Conversation should be geared to whatever level a child can handle maturity-wise. I was told parents should reassure their kids that this is not a normal situation. Kids should not be forced to talk about a situation like this if they don't want to. But parents should make sure kids have an opportunity to talk about what happened, especially if they knew Kimani.
Making sure that the kids know that they can speak about her, the friends, that they can say her name and they can speak about her and speak about memories, share memories that they have of this little girl and keep positive memories for them. So they're not focusing on her death, but focusing on the life she lived and the life that was taken from her.
Healthy can be hard, but this is a party. Premier Protein, my ride or die.
Boom. I really didn't.
As we continue to learn more details about what happened to Kimani, I was told it's important for parents to keep checking in with kids and answer any questions they may come up with. Reporting in the newsroom, Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.
For the past several years, our 11 Investigates team has reported on blighted homes in the city of
trying to keep
Toledo.
up with the
The
story
Toledo
as much as
structure
I
where
can.
Kimani Latiga was found
Like when they
happens to be
started
one
the
of them.
trial, I
Lead
would
investigator
definitely
Brian
keep up
Duggar
with
found
it.
out there's a plan to tear it down.
Yeah, city crews were at 1101 Miami Street this morning, boarding up windows and picking up trash, but the house won't be standing for long. We can now confirm
Yeah,
the
they're gonna
house
tear
is
the house
set to be
down.
demolished within the next 3 months. Now, according to the city, that demolition has been expedited because of Kimani's murder. We have also learned several other things about the property, which was damaged by 2 separate fires in 2022. It was purchased last year, sight unseen, for $4,000 by a real estate developer who planned on tearing it down and turning it into a parking lot. It has been vacant since those fires and has not been repaired. Now, despite that, the value of the property actually climbed $5,000 to $37,800 during the county's recent valuation process. And like many of the city's blighted properties, there is a significant bill attached to the property, nearly $4,000 in back taxes. Now, we talked to the developer this morning. He lives in New Jersey and has never even seen the property in person. He was not even aware that Kimani's body was found in the house, and he actually became pretty emotional when we told him that information. Now, we learned late this afternoon that he is now actually in talks to sell that property. So, of course, we'll continue to follow this angle of the story. But for now, reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for 11 Investigates.
It's also important to note we talked with Kimani's family. They say funeral expenses are covered.
Yeah, that means that they say they do not have any legitimate GoFundMe accounts, but Brown Legacy Memorial Funeral Home is covering the funeral and accepting donations. You can find details on how to donate right now on WTOL.com or our social media channels. Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 Plus. For Kaylee, Mayer, and Ted, and the entire WTOL 11 team, I'm Jeff Smith.
All right, y'all. I'm done for the day. I am done. I am tired. Tired. Yes. Poor little baby. Yes. So, yeah, funeral expenses. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. Shame on the father. I'm gonna try to keep up with this case. I'm gonna try to keep up with it because I want to know when he started court. I want to know all that, and I definitely want to cover this case. So I'm quite sure he probably had his first arraignment already. Yeah, he probably had that. So I'm gonna definitely keep up with this case. Yeah, this is a heavy work. Thanks for bringing and wearing, Miss Steve. Thank you, y'all. And I am tired and I am hungry. I have to eat. I am tired. Yeah, sometimes some of these things can take long as I, don't expect sometimes. And I do be tired sometimes. So I'm going to get up off of here for the day, y'all, because I think it is now going on 4:30. So I'm going to get up off of here and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then when I get off, y'all, I look for more content for the next day. So sometimes that make me a little tired too, So yeah, I'm gonna look for some stories for tomorrow. See, great live, Miss D. Get some rest. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate that. Thank you too, Sam. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna eat and lay down for a minute. Probably take me a little hour nap and get back up, take me a shower. And then I'll start looking for some stories for tomorrow too. Because I always like to listen to some of the stories before I share them so I can tell y'all briefly what they're about, not tell y'all the whole story, briefly what they're about. And then I like to share them. So yeah, I like to do that. It's hard work sometimes, y'all. It is. It's hard work sometimes. It really is. And it can make you tired too. I ain't gonna lie. But I love you guys. I appreciate everybody that came through for the day. And I love y'all. And always remember, stay prayed up and always keep God first. God loves us. And I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.